What up?
I need that sports encyclopedia. U.S. Steve Kim. Got Trent in the cut.
Coach,
Yeah.
Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
I'm proving with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. Hop into
You are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. Use not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
Got to get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so fast it don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight, and I said that guy can be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
The gas, Smitty and Jason Brown.
Coach JB Show.
What up? We are in the building. Shout out to Big Mike Raider already. It is Truth Telling Thursday, and we are in the building. Special guest co-host for the next few days. We'll be holding it down. If you haven't heard about it, you don't know about it, we didn't tell you yesterday because we forgot, quite frankly. But Big Smitty is off on assignment at Fox, so he'll be gone for the next 4 or 5 days. And we'll have all our normal guests, and Jeff Nadu will fill in and shout out and sit in for Big Smitty and handle the day-to-day with me on the realest show on Planet ERF. So pound that like, subscribe, become a member. And what are you really doing if you're not here every single morning, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on YouTube and X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. We got a loaded lineup today, man. Steve Kim joins us. Shaun King joins us. We're going to dive into all things real. Plus, we're going to get into a little bit of VP debate. We're going to get into the port strike and the hurricanes that have ravaged the United States and what we are doing about it. We're going to dive into all things real on the realest show on Planet ERF. So let's dive right into it. Another NFL Amazon disaster awaits us tonight as the Falcons play the Bucs. Kirk Cousins versus Baker Mayfield. These two quarterbacks have had decent seasons thus far, and both teams have something to play for. So maybe, just maybe, we will get a good game. I'm not going to hold my breath, but since Smitty isn't here today, I'm going to be the optimistic one for everyone out there and hoping we can get a good game tonight. Can Kyle Pitts actually show up? Can Baker navigate the offense versus a pretty decent Falcon defensive front? Can Bijan Robinson continue to run the ball with violent intent? Or will we see Michael Penix Jr. for the first time tonight? If Kirk struggles, will Coach pull the trigger on it? Is this the divisional championship game already and we just don't know it yet? A lot of season left, but this game carries a lot of weight with the Saints dropping the last 2 games and the Panthers being non-existent thus far. Amazon continues to draw our eyes and attention to games that are just god-awful. Can Amazon finally deliver something good besides a shitty package to your front door? We're going to dive into it. The Bucs take on the Falcons tonight, Thursday Night Football on Amazon. In the NFC South Divisional Showdown. Rashee Rice's mom caught on tape, red-handed, in a Rashee Rice mom jersey, stealing a package with Chappelle Roan records from a neighbor front porch, just hours after her son's Sunday injury went down. God, unbelievable, yet not. The Pac-12 has officially announced the addition of Gonzaga starting in 2026. I know Jeff Nadu will have something to say about that on the basketball side. Jerry Jones showed up to Cowboy practice yesterday with his helicopter landing on the practice field, and Roddy White reached out to me publicly on Twitter about his Travis Hunter take. You'll get to see that and see if he pops on the show. But before we begin, my legendary co-host, the CEO and owner of the Sit Down Crime Pod. You can find it on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, respectively. Go follow him and subscribe to the Sit Down Crime Pod today. The one and only, the betting extraordinaire, former Barstool Sports legend, Jeff Nadu. Join me in. My bad, baby. Jeff, what up?
What's up? What's happening? How you guys doing today?
Man,
What's going on?
We're hanging, man. We're hanging.
The apple don't far fall from the tree in the Rice crime family, I see.
I can't wait for this one, man. It's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be very interesting.
Unbelievable.
She's wearing his shirt, by the way. So it's. I mean, she's not hiding it. I mean, is it unbelievable or is it not unbelievable? I really don't know where to start. I mean,
it's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, yet not, in my opinion. I cannot believe that you got to be a pretty stupid fucking human being. I'm just gonna be honest. Pretty number one. Number two, I don't know, man. Like,
very few things worse than a thief. Very few.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's like the new air and water to these young cats. That's the new, like, oh, it's supposed to be free. It's supposed to be mine. Everything's supposed to be given to me for nothing, and I'm supposed to earn absolutely shit. I just take anything I can. That's these new kids now. And
you ever see that video? It's a great video of like there's a guy, he's in a car, he pulls up, it's like snowing out. He gets out of the car, walks up to a porch. Black dude walks up to the porch to try to steal a package. He steals the package, starts walking away. This old cat comes out with a big ass gun and goes, "Put that motherfucking package down."
I've seen that.
And the guy, like,
yeah,
he stopped.
Yeah, I've actually seen that one, man. I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's not. Hey, Mom, your son's in the NFL, and the grace and mercy hasn't been kind of been gifted to him. He gets to play this year after being a fucking shitbird, and he still gets to play. And then you still go out and do some shit. Apple don't far from the tree. We already know that, but god damn.
I mean, you got to figure every house has Ring doorbell cameras on them now. Like,
I'm trying to figure out where she was at inside of some apartment building complex, though, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well,
I get that he hasn't got paid, but I mean, he's in the fucking NFL. Like, let's figure this out.
I mean, he's only going to make about only $1 million a year, which ain't much. He's still on a rookie contract, but I believe that's her apartment, as far as I know.
Yeah,
they're calling it a neighbor.
Yeah, that was her kid or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be his kid, or maybe it's a nephew or niece or something.
I don't know, but we got to start the show off with a banger. We got quote of the day brought to you by Prize Picks, Skybox, Ticker. Go check them out today, and could be the last day for one of our proud sponsors in betonline.ag. We'll get into that at another time. But quote of the day, make sure you head on over to all of those places. And first round performance, go use the promo code CoachAB, get 10% off right now on Amazon. We'll give you the barcode here in a little bit later. We do a commercial. Quote of the day.
Do you think she envisioned, real quick, that maybe your son, if he got injured on Sunday, he ain't going to be making many money, so she's going to have to do what she's got to do?
That fast, Jeff? I'm just going to shit on my son's.
Maybe she sees the writing on the wall with the whole, hit and run thing,
LaKayla Moore, what up? Do I miss Last Chance You? No, I don't miss Last Chance You. I'm talking to TikTok. Quote of the day, real quick. It's okay to love something a little too much as long as it's real to you. Quote of the day. As long as it's real to you, it's okay to love something a little bit too much. Contrary to belief, brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over there. Use the promo code CoachJB for all your DFS action. Jeff and I will be giving you some tonight for tonight's game. I'm a realist, and realists don't fool themselves. Contrary to belief. Jeff, we're going to dive right into the poll question. You and I will get a debate going. All you guys in the chat, chime in, start it up. Smitty's on leave, not leave from me. He's got Fox Sports duties to cover for the next 4 days for Acho and Shady McCoy's early morning show. So it conflicts with this show. That's his big paying job. He has to do it. So Jeff's filling in for the next 3 or 4 days for Smitty. So poll question.
I didn't know I was here for the next 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, whatever days, however many days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll see. Poll questions, Jeff. Hit the give me the boom. If Davante Adams goes to the Jets, will it enhance Garrett Wilson or cripple Garrett Wilson's growth? You guys chime in, drop a super chat for Jeff too, since he's filling in for a few days. Will Davante's presence cripple or enhance Garrett Wilson's Jet career?
Well, I hope it does something because I'm about sick of this guy. I have him in fantasy. I benched him last week, Garrett Wilson. I'm done with him. I can't deal with him anymore. That said, I think a person like Davante would help him because maybe he starts to get more targets. You double Davante. My money's on the Bills, though. I think if you're the Buffalo Bills, that makes a lot of sense there. AFC East looks about high. Maybe the Saints, do they take a shot with it? They need a big weapon. It's a good place to play down in New Orleans.
They're saying there's some rumors coming out of a girl that I have had on the show a few times. She's a Vegas insider, covers the Raiders. She's saying that it's almost a done deal that he'll be a Jet, and Hassan Reddick's involved in the trade as well, going to the Raiders.
Yeah, that's something they're trying to get taken care of. A lot of people are saying, oh, he's going to come back to Philadelphia. He can't come back to Philadelphia. I don't believe you can be traded back to the same team within 2 years. I think that's the rule in the NFL.
I don't know. I know the Cowboys have the most cap. I think the Jets have the second most. I believe Carolina's up there or something. But other than that, the Saints, I think, have 13 mil. I think he would be owed 13 mil if somebody were to take him right now. I think he's 13.2 mil. I don't know. But to the poll question, I don't know. I actually think he would cripple Garrett Wilson's success only for the fact that he'll become instant shitbird. I think he comes shitbird. He's already getting a little loosey-goosey with Rodgers. I think he'll become shitbird because Davante Adams would be alpha A in the locker room, in the wideout room, and Aaron already knows them. They're boys. I think this young kid's mindset would be absolutely crippled. And if he wasn't that, if I hadn't seen his mental breakdowns already as a youngster, I would say it would enhance him because giving him a Davante Adams in the locker room would be huge for a young kid like that. But these young kids nowadays, it's all me, dog. They don't even give a fuck. They could care less if they play with a Hall of Famer or not. I'm just telling you, that's these kids now. So I'm gonna say it would cripple them, man. I don't know what you guys think in the.
I mean, you look at it though. Over the last 4 years, 51 touchdowns. He's caught 100 or more balls in those 4 straight years. 1,500 yards in 2 of the 4 years. Guy's still a terrific receiver.
Yeah.
And look, I think one of the commenters makes a very good point. It's rare that an NFL receiver is not a shitbird type of player. Like they're just divas.
Oh, they all are. Yeah,
that's how these cats are.
Always have been. They've always been. And DBs are right there with them. DBs and wideouts are the 2 worst prima donnas in football. They've always been that way. I mean, it is what it is. That's just kind of how it goes.
But are we maybe realizing, and maybe the Jets are realizing, this is not a great league overall, and you can add a player like this. This makes them instantly better. Okay, you look at that top 2 receiver group with Wilson there. You know, Alan Lazard's played well. They get a good running back. They got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's a great football team on paper.
On paper, it is, and I've overvalued that team on paper, man. I really have overvalued them, and I got to be the guy to say it because
But was it offensively? I mean, they're they're fine offensively. That's it. Are they after last week? I mean, I know Denver's a good defense.
They've struggled in almost every game. I've seen every game on offense. They look bad. New England's worst team, one of the worst in football. They finally got going a little bit, but to be honest, they haven't done shit in any game offensively. That offensive coordinator or whoever we want to say is calling it, Aaron or him, is a joke. There's a reason he got fired during the season in Denver. There's a reason why nobody wants him. There's a reason why people say he's a joke. He's only hanging on to Aaron's coattails because Aaron's there. Robert Saleh combined with the OC is a bad combination in New York. I believe that this combo's gone after this year. I overvalue the roster. I thought the roster was loaded. Brees coming back and Garrett and Mike Williams if he stays healthy. And you got Conklin and White, our tight end that's decent for him or whoever it is for Aaron Rodgers. And then you got this defense that's supposed to be unbelievable. Even when Jermaine was playing before he got hurt, they were one of the worst run defenses through the first 3 games. Like, they couldn't stop the run.
But you and I both – but here's the thing. You and I both know it's going to come down to them beating the Buffalo Bills. If they beat the Buffalo Bills, they'll win the division. They just will. This division's not good. Miami's a complete mess.
I don't know who else they're going to beat, though.
Well, listen.
CJ Mosley's out. You got Jermaine goes down. That defense –
They made a mistake of several years ago moving on from Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is a good coach.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles has been a great coach at Tampa. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, it is a lot worse than we think. The run defense hasn't been good, and the offense has been completely lost.
I think they got a lot of prima donnas, man. You got Sauce Gardner doesn't want to tackle. He pulls himself out that second game. I'm looking at him first game, I'm looking at him like, look at his body. Then I go good. Garrett Wilson looks like he's never hit a weight in his life. He's soft and frail. And then I'm looking at him. I'm like, wow. And then they got a bright spot at running back. They go make the offensive line better, but they look really just older and bigger. They don't really look better. Aaron started to look better game 2 and 3. We started to see the old Aaron Rodgers move around, manipulate the pocket, throw the football on time. And then all of a sudden, he hits a wall last week. 9 fucking points. 9 versus Bo Nix, who scores 60 or throw for 60 yards. 60 yards beat Aaron Rodgers. Like, you can't tell me this league isn't shit.
I mentioned this on Sunday. I think it was the show you weren't on, which I believe was Sunday. Shaun and I were talking about why some of these teams struggle to move the football, i.e., right now Miami, the Chicago, the Giants. You look at the Jets. 27th in the NFL in rushing offense. They can't run the ball. You can't just sit back and throw the ball 50 times. It's not going to work. It never has and never will. The Cleveland Browns are doing that a lot. They haven't moved the ball. You have to run the football. They can't do it. And again, you alluded to it. Maybe it is more the offensive line. Are they a real good offensive line? They also look like they have a quarterback that's 40-plus years old off a major injury. Maybe they do have more prima donnas than we think. It's a good point, and it might actually be true.
Yeah, I know. Let's break down tonight's game, but I want to ask you. I got some Eagles topics for you that I want to dive right into because after watching the Eagles, I want to have a similar conversation about the Jets about the Eagles about the Jets. Same situation to me as far as coaching goes, quarterback play, run game, and
a lot of that comes down to coaching. You look at another poor coach, the Jets. We know the writing on the wall. He's not a good coach. We know that.
Yeah, it's bad. That team's digressed. Clearly, that team is digressed. But again, Sirianni's the same guy who took the podium 3 years ago when I was on this show when I started, and I said, this guy's weird. Who the hell hired this guy? Same thing I said about McDaniels in Miami. But what do I know? Now it's starting to bite you in the ass. You can mask and cover fake for a certain amount of time. I'm just telling you. But in the man's league, in the locker room, when you finally have to get to brass tacks and shit hits the wall and tempers get to flaring and alpha males all come out at once, the real shit has to hit and drop. And that's what you're seeing. Sirianni's not that guy. Mike McDaniel's not that guy. And I'm going to be honest, the only guy that I see pop off the fucking film for the Eagles is Saquon Barkley, the brand new guy. I don't see anybody else popping off the film. And I watched their D-line in specific, and I have their film. I got their new film. We popped it up last night a little bit, and I have it today. we can maybe show. But that D-line is fucking god-awful with effort. They have no effort, and it takes zero talent to give effort, Jeff. Zero talent to give effort. They give no effort, and that is an indictment on the head football coach. If you can't give effort, then you have lost that locker room. And I'm just telling you right now, I saw that with the Jets and the Eagles. Effort.
It's well said. Their defensive line, they got completely hosed in that Bryce Huff deal with the Hassan Reddick. Huff is a disaster. Jalen Carter, look, he has times where he plays well, but he's kind of a shitbird as well. I mean, he gives effort seemingly when he wants to. Jordan Davis can't get his weight in check. Brandon Graham, I mean, he's about 40 years old. He gives the effort, but he's old. They don't put any interest in linebackers ever. I look more at the GM position. I say, what the hell exactly did Howie Roseman do here? And then you bring in a lame duck coach who has no control. So he doesn't know if he should call plays. It's a mess. And it all comes down to coaching, as you just alluded to.
It's bad, man. I'm going to be honest. It's a bad league, too, right now. It's pretty bad.
I disagree. Losing Kelsey was not huge, okay? Yeah, for the first game or two it was, but their offensive line's the only good thing about this team. And remember, on offense, they are without A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. You look at when they were all healthy, they put up 34 points against the Packers in Brazil. So I'm not too worried about the offense.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I got that Philly-Tampa game, and I was just watching it, and we'll pull it up later. But their effort is unbelievable. We'll show a little bit later, but
Coach, stop the presses here. R. Rogers says this segment's kind of dry. Any opinion on that?
Who?
R. Rogers.
Who's that?
I don't know. He says the segment's kind of dry.
Oh, well, that's a nobody. Let's dive into tonight's game real quick. Bucks, Falcons, Thursday night preview. I want to break this game down from a coaching perspective, and then I want to get your betting perspective tied in with that. Thursday night games historically so far through 2 years on Amazon have been unbelievably shitty. I'm trying to be optimistic in lieu of Smitty not being here because he finds good in everything, but I don't see it. I just see another fucking 12-9 game. I'm hoping to see a 39-36 game. I just don't think that's what we're going to see.
Well, this again, and I don't want to be this whole, guy. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to. Playing 2 games in 5 days is not healthy. And this is the obsession with this league. We are obsessed with money. We're going to throw a ton of money. Amazon's going to throw a ton of money at us. We're just going to put our players at risk, even though we say we care about our players and we don't want them to be hurt and long-term have problems, but we make them play 2 games in 5 days. Stupid. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to watch these games. They generally suck. I will say, devil's advocate on why this game might not suck. 3 of the last 4 have been decided by 6 points or less. So it is possible. Both teams have looked pretty good. Baker Mayfield could do whatever he wanted last week. Now watch this week. We'll see how a real defense deals and doesn't play 9 fucking yards off each receiver. Coach, you're a coach. What the fuck does that make sense? Why are we playing 9 yards off NFL receivers? They're too good. They're going to make the first man miss. And before we know it, they're going to get 12 yards in every play.
Let me ask you, this game right here in particular is kind of like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, they're going to run Bijan Robinson like they did versus the Chiefs. So they're going to try to control the line of scrimmage. They should have won that game. Falcons are good. They show good signs like, okay, this team's real legitimate contender. These 2 teams, is this in essence going to be the championship between these 2, or is the Saints got a shot? They've lost 2 games in a row, but that's who the Saints are. That's why I've never bet on the Saints. I'll never bet on a Derek Carr-led team because the Saints will do what they've done the last 2 games of the football season as well. So that's why I just can't be super hyped on the Saints to be in this contention. We know the Panthers are out, so I think it's a 2-man race between these 2 right here. The Saints will be close, but I think they'll lose when it matters. These 2 are going to be the teams. Is this, in essence, a bigger game than people think tonight?
Yeah, I think it is. It's got to be. I mean, the Saints are kind of waning a little bit. It's hard to bet the Falcons. They are at home here. I like Kirk Cousins. He's played well for them. But you look at the Falcons, every game they've played has been decided by 8 points or less, and the last 3 have been decided, I think, by 3 or less. This is going to generally be a close game. They've got a great kicker. You got to look at some special teams occasionally. But Kirk's been good. I mean, you look at this season, he's been very solid. 864 yards, 4 touchdowns. Does have 4 interceptions, but his completion percentage is like 65%. He's got to get that up a little bit, but he's been a solid quarterback so far for them. I don't think we're going to see Michael Penix anytime soon. But yeah, this game's a lot more important than we think. It's not Jets, Patriots. Imagine it could be that, Coach. Could be Jets, Patriots. You could always watch Sunbelt football tonight. There's 2 Sunbelt games on. You can watch college, or you can just watch it like me and do something else.
Yeah, bet it. Fuck, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Real quick before we move on, I gotta ask you. I know you're betting on everything. Major League Baseball. I gotta ask you guys real quick because I want to shout out Detroit Tigers, the 3-1-3. Detroit hasn't been to the playoffs, Jeff, if my recollection is correct, in like 10 years. The Houston Astros have been there 8 in a row, have won several World Series, and in between that time, cheating or no cheating, they have a few ring beat my Doyers. Shout out to Detroit, man, for coming from the bottom and getting it done, beating Houston, sweeping them in the first round. I do not like the 3-game first round shit. I mean, 2 games in a row, you get hot and it's over. I don't like it. They need to play more games in the first round. I don't get it. This is the reason why, though. My Dodgers have to play again 2 out of the last 3 years, as they've won the division 11 out of 12, by the way. But the last 2 out of 3 years, 3 out of 4 years, they play our rival, one of our arch nemesis, San Diego Padres. Make it make sense. Why are we playing our rival, who we play 26 times a season, after they give the division champ a bye, Jeff? Remember, this team is a bye now. So the Dodgers just set the first round for being the champ. And then they get to go up against my boy Jerry Portz's Padres again, 2 out of the first 3 years without having to play a game. And they go right into a Padres team who just went and won their series. And I'm like, we got all these Padre fans in here, but damn, listen, Chris Four, Jerry Ports, all these San Diego Sports, all these guys are San Diego guys in here. The Dodgers better win, Jeff, because Roberts, who's a San Diego native, better fucking just resign if he loses this series. But I hate the format. The Dodgers should be playing the winner out of the Phillies, the other side. Well, I don't understand why you're playing your rival every year after a bye. I don't get it.
The Phillies might. The Phillies might actually do that too, because if the Mets beat the Brewers tonight, I believe it is, they would play the Mets. So, yeah, look, it's more games. Yeah. It's more games. It's more money. We're going to add extra teams to get more games. As a bettor, I don't have an issue with that. I don't care at all. I get what you're saying, though. Shout out to Detroit, though. Great call by you. Haven't been to the playoffs since 2014. And they beat Houston, who people generally hate because they're scumbags. So good for them. By the way, the Orioles also lost.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up because do you know their record last year?
This year or last year?
Last year.
Well, they've been very good the last few years.
No, last year I believe the Kansas City Royals had 55 wins. Did they not?
Oh, you're talking about the Royals. Yeah, the Royals were not good last year. The Royals are good this year. The Orioles have been good the last years. But again, whenever they get to the playoffs, they fuck off. I mean, I think they've lost like 10 or 11 straight postseason games.
But I'm just saying, shout out to the Kansas City Royals, because people don't realize you can build places overnight with the right culture and philosophy. They had a 30 or 40 game improvement this year, and then they go out and beat the Orioles, who for a long time this year were running for the best record in baseball. Mm-hmm. And Kansas City Royals, shout out to the Kansas City Royals. They've been fucking abysmal for several, I don't know how long.
Well, they have that guy, Bobby Witt. He's awesome. He's a great.
Shout out to Kansas City sweeping the Orioles. Just want to talk a little baseball because it's playoff time, and it's and then shout out to San Diego for beating a good Atlanta Braves team, man. Again, Atlanta had a great record all year long, and then the Mets now 1-1 with Milwaukee. Milwaukee had one of the better records.
Well, Coach, I will say, speaking of baseball, I have the New York Yankees. I bet them 20-1 before the season to win it. I'm feeling very good with our matchup. Got a great team. We got the best player in baseball, and Aaron Judge. Let's do it.
Ohtani's the best in baseball, but yeah,
he's not. No, he isn't. Aaron Judge,
the best baseball player ever, possibly.
Yeah, but this year, Aaron Judge has been completely dominant. Do you realize whenever he
doesn't do much. To me, he hasn't done as much as Ohtani.
I'm going to tell you right now,
more home run.
Listen, Coach.
What's their stats? Break their stats down for me.
Okay, Aaron Judge has 58 home runs. He's hit 322. Okay. Yep. Now, I get Shohei Ohtani plays two positions, but when you look at numbers, he has 54 home runs and hits 310. Now, you got to look more at advanced numbers, but Judge's numbers are better. And whenever Judge comes out, he's what I call a transcendent player. Whenever he comes up, he does something unbelievable. I mean, he's Judge on another level. He's the MVP. Look, Ohtani's great. Bobby Witt was really good this season, but you got to go with Judge.
Who strikes out more?
Shohei has 162. Judge 171, so slightly more.
And then who gets more bases for their team?
Yeah,
they strike out less and get more bases for their team. Ohtani creates more runs, scoring position.
Well, we'd have to look at right. We also look at OPS. I mean, Aaron Judge 1.159. Judge had 144 RBIs. Listen, I'm a Judge guy. I'll always be a Judge guy. It's not a homer take. How's it a homer take? I don't even watch baseball hardly.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't give a fuck. Ohtani's a motherfucker. He also kicks for the Falcons, so it's unbelievable. Like what that guy does. He does everything, and then he's going to be on the show here in a minute.
I'll just say this: I'm a big fan of the Asians. I love Asians. Shout out to all the Asians.
Asian food is my favorite.
Yeah, I play a lot of poker with Asians, baccarat with Asians. I'm a big Asian guy. I like a lot of, and I'll tell you what. There's a casino out by you. What the hell is it called? Hustler Casino, it's called?
What is it?
Hustler.
Yeah, Hustler. That's where Steve Kim does the show with Mario Lopez.
Yeah, they have so they have poker streams on. I watch a lot.
Oh yeah, they're always
fucking great. And a lot of the Asians play there. Fucking great. Looks like great.
That's all it is. That's all it is in that area. Yeah. I don't like Asians that much. But
it's tough to gamble with them though. They're very good gamblers.
I don't like them that much. Steve Kim's really one of the only ones. Ohtani. But let's dive into Ohtani's. We already know what he's done.
It's funny, everybody forgot about the gambling thing with Ohtani.
Yeah, and I know. And then his guy is fucking Uber Eats deliverer.
And where's he at?
He's out at Uber Eats. He's out fucking
delivering in America.
Yeah, he's out fucking delivering Uber Eats. It's crazy.
Shit.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Wait, he delivered to you?
Huh?
Did he deliver to you?
Nah, not me. But
oh, you don't get it.
How about this? I got a video. I should have put it in the show, but I'm sitting in here in the cigar lounge last night with Ash, smoking a stick, watching movie was I watching? I think Tulsa King, the second season.
I've been enjoying Tulsa King. I've really liked this season so far.
It's good. And I'm watching it. And I get my alarm goes off, my cameras light up in the front, and it goes on my phone. I'm looking at my camera. Fucking car pulls up next to my car in the driveway. Fucking so I'm seeing the doors open. I'm seeing a dude crouch down. So I'm like, uh-oh. So I go grab my clacker, and I'm like, let me see what's going on here. And then I see like 4 kids just run from the car out to the street and then go down the street. So I get my little one of my little pistols, walk outside, and I got Ash with me holding Ash. And it's a lady like, dong, dong, dang, no. And I'm like, what? Fucking Ohtani is in my driveway with a bunch of fucking kids. And she said, oh, so sorry, wrong driveway. I'm like, how are you in the wrong driveway and let your whole family out of my motherfucking house? So anyway, That's what we call a Chinese fire drill.
I mean, I don't think you were wrong to act that way. I mean, a
No.
couple of kids, crouching down. I mean,
I'm looking at the camera. I'm keeping the camera on my phone, and then I'm walking out. So it was gonna be.
Let me ask you: is it hard to acquire a weapon in that state, or no?
Not really. Well, not illegally, no, but it's real easy. But legally,
legally,
really,
I mean,
not really. There's a
if
10-day
it's here,
cooldown for
super
pistols. Pistol wise, there's a cooldown period. You can only buy one pistol at a time, or you have to buy them together. You can't go get a pistol and then go back the next day and get another one.
So you're saying, like, let's say you go buy a gun, you don't get it the same day?
No, you pick up a gun, you have to wait.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can go buy an AR-15 right now, and I'll walk out.
I know. Arizona, you can go get a house full of them and take them home.
Yeah, I love that about Pennsylvania. You can just go
California,
buy it.
you got to buy. So you go take a test. Now I'm approved and I got a license and all that shit. So I don't have to do. But when you first go get it, years ago when I went and did it, take a test, easy as fuck. It's almost like retard proof.
Yeah, I didn't take anything. No test.
Yeah. See, those other states, man, that's a good part about it, man. I'm gonna tell you, Arizona is unbelievable. Texas, Arizona. I mean, that's why there's a lot of actually. If you look, besides like downtown Phoenix, you don't get a lot of crime in Arizona, especially not Scottsdale. Everyone's strapped. Everybody's carrying. Everybody. It doesn't matter where you go, store, gas station, and it's on their hip. It's not hidden. So
I tell you what, JB, and I'm just being honest. You could have had a real problem on your hands if you would have went out there and hurt anybody. Seriously, I think you made it. Yeah, you would. I think anywhere you'd have a major problem there. It depends state wise, but you went out and like there's films about that. You go out and like shoot somebody in on the street, like get out a problem there.
Oh yeah, no. The only thing I was saved down there on my property. They're in my driveway, so it was in the line. So that's the only issue.
But you know how the law works.
Oh no, I still would be fighting for my life. I promise you. Yeah, it's in California, bro. California, you shoot a guy in your house and you go to jail.
Yeah.
So
you got to make sure they're not turned around and running out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. Real quick, I want to get your take real quick on the VP debate real quick that happened the other night. Because it's unbelievable. I brought it up to Smitty yesterday. I'm like, all my boys that didn't watch it because there's a reason. They really only they only want Kamala to win. They only watch Kamala, but they don't want to watch her running mate. And it makes zero sense to me. If you're really voting for the best person, then you're going to be invested in everything that this lady Kamala is bringing to the table. The debate was, my brother, who's in the Air Force, was like, that might be one of the biggest ass whippings he's ever watched in a debate. Number one. Number two, he said the actual Vance is actually very, very intellectual with what he says, and he's not just mumbling like a lot of other fucks we see. Even Trump at times, and we know Kamala is all fake, and we know this fucking Walsh guy is a joke. Oh my God. But I just watched that and I'm like, holy shit, man. Did this guy really say I'm friends with shooters? I don't know. What's your takeaway from that whole fucking debate the other day?
Yeah, I think Vance was very good. I mean, he's very well spoken, great debater. And someone in your chat made a great point. I think he's the future of the Republican Party. I think they're kind of hyping him up as the next guy.
And they got that Vivek guy too. They got another intellectual guy. Yeah.
Tim Walz is a weird guy, strange character. He actually came to a store very close to my house recently, and he's a strange dude, man.
I wouldn't fucking trust that dude. You know how I judge a person, Jeff?
Yeah.
Whether you're a player of mine, a coach of mine, whatever. This is the only way I judge you. Would I let you babysit my daughter?
Well, Coach, I think he does. He's a guy who is a strange character, and I think he has some things in his past that he doesn't want to talk about. And in politics now, especially in 2024, they can find everything about you. So listen, we're all strange. I'm strange. If you see me on a regular basis, you'd say, wow, you're kind of a weird guy, aren't you? I don't behave like a lot of normal people do, but you got to be a little strange to do this. You're kind of strange. You don't get DoorDash. That's a strange thing to not do, right?
No.
It kind of is.
Yeah. I would say you getting it strange, so they get your address.
But we're all strange. I'm a strange guy. Yeah. I tell you. Yeah. But I'm also not running for president or vice president. But him and Kamala are strange people. Would I vote for Kamala or not based on him? No. But she's going to win, unfortunately, and that's sad to say, but I think she's going to wow a lot of people. And look at what you see, Coach, all the time. Why are you voting for Kamala? Well, I don't know. I just like her more than Trump.
They don't know.
Most people are very stupid.
Black female. I'm just telling you. Let's be
That's
honest.
why she's going to win. I hear you.
I tell Smitty the other day, I go, come on, dog. You watched her thing, but you didn't watch her boys thing. Like it just tells me straight up. That's why it is. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm looking at this thing, and everywhere I go, Jeff, in America, like there's nobody voting for Kamala.
No.
Like, and the people really open their eyes and say, this has to be the biggest setup, mockery, or joke ever. Because if the agenda is being pushed that she's going to win regardless, because that's how fake the elections have gotten, that's how bad and diluted they've gotten. What are we doing? And by the way, transitioning that to everything I've been seeing you post about, my good friends work at the largest dock in America right here in Long Beach, San Pedro Port. And we're seeing this the port strike, and then you see the you tie that in with the fucking hurricane, and Kamala's giving $750 to victims because she doesn't even want to bring up the fact that FEMA sent $20 million in San Diego alone to house illegals. In San Diego alone, we're not talking about America. San Diego alone, they opened up a shelter for illegals. FEMA did. But FEMA won't protect our own, but will send money elsewhere. And she doesn't even want to bring up the word FEMA, if you haven't noticed. She won't even bring it up. It's a mockery, and Black Americans see it. And every real Black American hood cat I know is like, fuck her. This broad is killing us out here. They don't give a fuck about us. I don't understand why you guys don't see what's happening right here. I want to know this. I got a question for you, Jeff. Have you ever seen anything in Ukraine look this bad?
Well, no, but here's the thing. And what I just said makes sense. They don't care about what she actually does or doesn't do. Because if you ever ask them what policies do you like that she does, they can't ever tell you.
It's one thing.
It's always, well, I like her a little more. Donald Trump's a dick. It's like, okay, but does he get things done? Well, yeah, but I don't like him. It's very stupid ways of thinking. And look, all this stuff happening at the same time is for a reason. I want to tell you right now, and I'm going to say something that might upset some of your people, but I don't care. Unions have fucked America. Unions are fucking bullshit. Let me say it again. Fuck unions. I'm going to say that 5 fucking times. Fuck unions, fuck unions, fuck unions, fuck unions, fuck unions. That's what I'm going to say. Harold Daggett is a criminal. A guy that runs the ILA, he's a fucking criminal. They're corrupt organizations. They should be taken away and fucked off with. Fuck unions.
So you did a video on this cat. I don't know nothing about him. My buddy works. I got a bunch of friends, and they all make good fucking money at the ports. I'm gonna tell you.
Unions protect lazy fucking people. That's what they protect.
Because the dock workers can work 4 hours. They get paid for 8. They don't work full shifts. And then a buddy of mine's a crane operator down here in the port. He makes about $350 a year. He works maybe 20 hours a week.
Say that again. What you just said.
My boy's a crane operator. He makes about $350 a year, and he works 20 hours a week.
$350 a year. You know how much Harold Daggett, the national president of the ILA, makes? Just in salary, $909,000. For what?
Well, he's got a $20 million mansion, I heard, in New Jersey.
He's got a 78-foot yacht. He drives a Bentley. Now, again, he is the president.
I saw Elon Musk posted a thing. He goes, this guy's got more yachts than I do. I don't know nothing about the guy. So
he's a criminal.
It's ironic. I saw a video that I don't believe, but we were talking about it, and this guy did a viral video. It was like, the reason that the strike's happening, you don't really know, is because the baby's yelling in the crates. And I'm like, I'm not going to go that far. I get there's trafficking shit, but I'm not going that far. Because so you give them a raise and then they're right back working, even though the babies are still yelling? Like, it makes no sense. So no, I'm not believing that one. But at the same time, I know it's fucked up. It's corrupt. The docks are the import-export parts of this country. Obviously, we get everything there.
We need to automate docks. I don't know if you've seen how China does things, how the major countries do them. We need to automate docks. Get these fucking people that have been grandfathered in for 40 years. They're all mob associates. Harold Daggett, coach, is a mob associate. If he was Italian, he'd be a member of the Genovese crime family. He has been connected to them for years. And every New York port is operated and owned by the mafia. They do what they're told there. Harold Daggett's been under indictment. Look him up. He's a scumbag. He's a fake fucking gangster. That's what he is.
Yeah, but out here, we got a lot of automated ports out here already with as far as the crane stuff.
They should be doing that.
There's so many deaths on the ports that they don't talk about. The line snap, cable snap, those fucking things fall on people all the time and just disintegrate them. I'm just telling you. And out here, it's a big thing of bringing illegals in over on them. They're bringing illegals in on them. My buddy said they've caught people running out of those things, and there's no way you get in them. There's no way you get in them on a boat, inspected, into our waters, onto our docks, unless it's designed. I'm just throwing that out there. They're not a conspiracy. They're coming in on our docks.
Do you think it's weird that a month before an election, one of the largest unions in the country asked for a 77% pay raise? Do you know 1/3 of ILA workers make $200,000 a year or more?
Oh, I know. 1/3. Everyone I know that works at the docks makes 200 plus.
I mean, that 1/3, there's 45,000 ILA members.
Now, here's the only defense I have. I agree with that, actually. The only defense is very hard to get in the docks. It's a lottery system, at least in California. Basically, you put your name in the mailbox. You send it off when they open up for job hiring. And then there's an hour, you go through like, you got to get to a certain amount of hours, 1,000 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's 4,000 hours. And then it's very hard to get in, though. They're not just bringing in it's like luck of the draw on one side. And then on the other side, once you get in there to do what you do in your specific detailed craft, it's like, it's elite. It's the elite of the elite once you get in. And then once you get in, though, they're not just hiring like any swinging dick off the side, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not easy to get in. You can't just apply either. There's no application process. There's no application.
Coach, let me ask you. I see somebody, Max Hess in the chat, talking about they're the only reason we made it through COVID. They deserve every penny. You do know they get paid to do this. Do you know how many union people have reached out to me and act like they're literally, Coach, they should get a parade because they work and make a lot of money. They're getting paid. They're making a lot of money. They're not working for free. If you don't want to work there, don't fucking work. Go do something else. You want to make more money? Go get another fucking job. Don't be union. Be fucking non-union. My father was a non-union fucking worker and did whatever he wanted.
It's a hard-ass job. It's a hard-ass job. Everybody works in off season. Well,
is it? I know a lot of non.
It's a good
Let
question.
me tell you something. Come out here and try to tell these Amish guys that work 10 fucking times harder than any fucking union guy they're going to unionize. Fuck that.
Let me ask you. You made me think. What I mean by hard job is the people that I know that are actually hands-on, that they're actually operating like heavy machinery on the ground with gloves and rope and having to do hard labor. They're fucking, it's hard. And it's the most dangerous job. I'm going to be honest. If you look at a contract, my buddy showed me his contract, like 90% of it's signed and made up because of dangers on the job. It's all risk. It's all risk versus reward. So, skyscraper cleaners, window cleaners, they make crazy money. People don't realize because of the risk. They're hanging up there. This is similar. They get it. It's a risk job. It's really what they're paid for. I'm gonna be honest.
Coach, then don't work there.
Oh, I get it. I'm just saying everybody wants more though, Jeff. Now what we're in.
Sure.
You want more, I want more. Everybody wants more for doing less. I mean, I'm just telling you, it is what it is. I don't agree. I agree with Vincent in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of people that teach. Teachers, bless their heart, because they're the true travesty in America. Like, teachers get fucked in this country more than anybody. Like, they 40 grand, 70 grand. If you're really good and you've been in a long time and you're tenured, 110, maybe 120, depending on the district you're in. JUCO, you can maybe make 180. depending. But think about what you deal with on a 10 to 12-hour day with these shitbirds, and you're babysitting someone else's kids who will throw something at you, disrespect you all day, and not give a fuck about what you have to say. To me, they're the most underpaid, and then cops, and then firefighters. Those three to me are the most underpaid. And then you got nurses. You want to throw nurses in there who change your shitty diapers. All of our public servants and people like that are underpaid. I'm just telling you. But we'll give money away and not help the people that just went through a fucking hurricane. And we'll give money away to these fucks. Blow my mind. And social workers, Lucy, you're right. I don't know.
I mean, but remember, they're not asking for like a 30% wage hike. 77%. They want to go from making $39 an hour to $70 an hour. And ask yourself this: up until recently, Amazon didn't have a union. Who works harder than those guys?
Let me ask you something real quick, because I want to throw this out there.
There's a lot of tough workers that don't have unions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to throw this out there real quick, because nobody understands.
Well, what lies am I spitting, Gene? Why don't you come on and tell us? Are they not asking for a 77% raise? Listen, you're never going to sell to me. I'm not a union guy. I don't like unions. Fuck unions. Yeah. I'm not going to say you don't work. Good for you. If that's your job, salute. But I don't agree with it.
Everyone's going to have disagreements. There's the thing I don't get. Under the Biden administration, we've hired 80,000 IRS agents. 80,000 IRS agents have been hired under the Biden administration. Now, that's fact. Go look it up right now. Why didn't we hire one new Border Patrol agent? I'm just throwing that out there. 80,000 IRS agents to do what, Jeff? To do what? Why did we hire 80,000 Border Patrol?
I think you know why. I think you know why.
Exactly. And our roads are still shitty. We have sent all our tax money abroad, yet our borders are butt naked, wide open, and we have hired or fired. We haven't fired or hired one person on the border.
But let me ask you, if I told you that the workers they hired, the IRS people, if I told you they were looking into COVID scam cheats, would you be okay with it? People that stole money, that lied about how many employees they had, etc. There were a lot of those. And what they're doing is getting the money back. Would that be all right with you?
Say it again.
So let's say 50,000 of those workers were hired to look into COVID pandemic scams, which that's what a lot of them are doing. Oh, yeah, and they're going to get that money back through restitution and through things of that nature.
Well, during COVID, we had financial aid scams too with kids.
So would you be okay with that?
I'm not okay with any of it because
they're getting tax money that was stolen back.
Yeah, I pay for it though. I don't get it back.
We do need to understand the IRS they're federal agents. We need federal. I mean, the FBI has their own jobs to do. We need people. Do you realize how many people were audited 3 years ago? I believe like around 100 people. 100 people in a country with 330 million Americans. We shouldn't have 80,000 new people. But we have a lot of people that are scamming, and we have a lot of people that aren't able to do the jobs. You got to hire people. I know
these are all small pocket governments inside of a bigger government. We hire those all the time. A lot of people don't realize how this thing works. But I got to ask you: Are you against or with the waiving the student loan forgiveness deal? Because I got about almost 200 grand in student loans still. I've never got a COVID relief check. I never got a check period, and I still pay student loans. And I believe it's the biggest slap in the face for everyone that went to college, went through the process, and did it. Mm-hmm. And now for half of you to be waived and half of us not to be waived, that's why we have hatred towards Democrats and Republicans amongst each other. There's other reasons why we're divided as well, of course. But I'm just telling you, if you don't do it for all, don't do it for any. Because I'm just telling you, student loan thing's a joke. Like, first of all, it should be interest-free in my opinion, but you should pay it back if you're going to get the loan. Because I had to. All my family had to pay it back. And now all of a sudden, I got buddies that are like, man, I got my shit waived. I haven't got mine fucking waived. So I'm like, God damn. I got 2 master's degrees, 2 bachelor's degrees, an associate degree. I haven't got my shit waived. But Jeff, let's get back on track. It's Football Thursday. We got a lot to discuss before we take a break. Steve Kim joins us in about 15 minutes. Real quick into this Rashee Rice thing. Break this whole video down real quick because she was caught on camera and she's caught on video and she's got a baby in the picture in the video. I mean, it's TMZ Sports gets everything because they pay people big money to give them the fucking insight. I've had dealings with TMZ. You see her stop and be like, oh shit, look at this package. Like she clearly stops Jeff and eyes it and acts like she walks by it.
I mean, it's she'll chalk it up to, oh, well, I was drunk. I'd been drinking a little bit, and I was just helping out a neighbor. I didn't want it sitting out there. That's what
Has she been arrested? I gotta ask you. Has she been arrested?
That I don't know. That I'm not sure. But again, apple doesn't fall far from the tree in this family. There are a bunch of criminals. And when you have a criminal raising a criminal, when a criminal comes and you say, what happened here? Well, apple don't far fall from the tree. I don't know if she's been charged. Theft would be my guess, but I don't know. I believe it was in her building. I think she lives there. Maybe she thought it was her house. She was drunk. I don't know.
Yeah. Jeff, we got an exciting second half. We got Steve Kim. We'll see if Shaun King joins us. If not, it's just Jeff and I. We got a lot of topics. Bailey, I think we got some white people shit, some black people shit that we haven't got to get to.
That's a wild thing to have on the Mama Rice thing is fucking funny though.
Mama Rice. And just
I remember. Quick,
do we need a BPS? Do we need BPS, or was that BPS for the fucking for a week?
That kind of was. I remember when I was younger. You know who had a great mother? She was very active. Allen Iverson's mother was hilarious. I don't know if you remember her. She talk about a mother. She was at every game with a fucking sign.
KD's mom's the same way.
Yes,
she doesn't annoy me because she supports her kids, so she doesn't. That'll never annoy me.
That's how Allen's mom was. Yeah,
supportive of her kid. I'm always gonna support that shit. Like, shout out to her mom. She just always looked like she belonged, and I'm like, I guess she does because she's the mom, but she just looked weird, out of place. But she was there. She's at every KD game, I think, isn't she?
Is this the worst year ever for the Rice family? So you have a hit and run where 6 people get injured. You then get a pretty bad injury. And within the same day, your mom steals a package from a neighbor with a Mama Rice jersey on.
If you're the neighbor, though, let's flip it. If you're the neighbor, what do you do? If you're the neighbor and said, are you guys shitting me here? Rashee Rice's mom stole my shit?
What exactly did she steal?
Bailey, is it a record? Is it a record?
Was it just in like an Amazon package? Like, how would she have known what it was?
Because it's saying it's some sort of. It says a specific name. I don't know.
Yeah. You're right. Some
Shop
kind of
loan record. I don't know. It looks like a small package on the porch. If you look,
I don't know. What is that?
For Rome,
and everybody in the chat says it. Everybody in the chat says it. Tell me what the fuck it is. I want you to tell me exactly what Chapon Road is right now. See, nobody knows. Nobody knows. That's how they do it. They'll just say,
so Chapon Road is from looks of it, sort of like some sort of singer, synth pop hits. I've never heard of her. Looks like a trans person or something.
A what? Made up human?
Possibly.
Fuck, of course.
She kind of looks like Lady Gaga a little bit.
Or he does. Hey, have you heard about the fucking shout out to all the women's sports out there, volleyball players that are refusing to play a made-up human team? We're going to dive into that on the other side of this with Jeff Nadu. Take a commercial break. We also got a first-round performance commercial. Let's play that, Bailey, at some point. And we'll be back in about 4 minutes with Steve Kim.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who spoke to every single NCAA college football 2025 team seemingly on the internet. From Last Chance U, national champion, Coach JB.
Yeah, Coach!
What's up, gentlemen?
Coach, just great car, great stick. Thank you for pulling off to the side of the road. Hope you don't get killed here. Honestly, side of the road, LA, I assume that's not necessarily the safest place on earth. So we'll make this quick. How do you feel about all of these new coaches now in this NCAA College Football 2025 game using your speeches to motivate these boys from one side of the country to the other, Coach?
I feel broke.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Can I get like a royalty or something? Like, Netflix already screwed me. I'm getting screwed by EA Sports now too? Like, holy shit. I hit him up. I reached out to him like, hey, trying to be cordial and nice. I'm a nice guy, you know me.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, EA Sports, maybe I can actually be your video guy, the actual do a real video instead of using my name, image, and likeness.
Oh, shit.
And maybe I can get a little piece of the pie, but nah, it's all right. Just keep sharing my 500 million views of it.
I don't mean to laugh at you, but obviously you are a hilarious, miserable person, and this is kind of is how it goes.
Hey, Pat, I was actually chilling. My back went out yesterday, so I didn't even do my show today. So I just left my chiropractor, and I'm waiting on this damn cigar company to open. They're late, of course. I mean, come on.
Shit.
Okay, so life is good. Last question for me, because I know the last time we talked to you, you had not watched the Netflix series Last Chance U. You said that. You said, I've not watched it, but obviously you've heard from everybody. Now, do you see some clips that come across your way? You're like, I don't remember saying that. And then all of a sudden, oh, I killed that. And do you judge your clips whenever you see them? You're like, I murdered that one.
Nah. A broad came over to the house the other day, and I didn't really want to watch Netflix with her and chill. But she wanted to watch the show. We watched one episode.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't watch this.
Okay.
And she was like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. It was the first scene of the cow scene or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, they only made about $4 billion off my name on this shit. I'm not watching Netflix either. So I'm spiteful right now, Pat. I don't want to watch Netflix. I don't want to watch EA Sports video game. I'm like, man, and I can't even get 40,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Well, you're going to the moon. We appreciate the hell out of you, Coach. Hopefully it'll get figured out, and we know the Netflix and chill thing, what that leads to. Bad backs, chiropractors. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach JB.
Yeah, Coach.
All right. Shaun King will be joining us tomorrow. Let's get on track here. Bailey got this going. Let's dive into this second segment, Jeff, before Steve Kim jumps on. Shador and Shiloh Sanders says, stop hating on NIL money when asked about who wanted NIL to become a thing, and then are the same ones who criticize it. Let's dive into this video.
Yeah, conversation. So the thing about it is like, all right, everybody fights so hard to get NIL. Now we have it. Now everybody want to hate on it, right?
Yeah, you can't fight. You can't ask to get paid, and then when people get paid and you hate on each other, that don't. Right. That just don't make sense.
Jeff, I actually agree with what he's saying because it's not their fault that NIL is here. I don't believe they're hating on NIL when it comes to those two, though. I believe the hate you hear comes from all the other shit that those two kids right there do, along with the program. That's where I think the hate comes from. I don't think it's NIL. He's discussing NIL in specific, and that's the topic. Then I agree with him. You can't ask for it and then bitch and moan when someone makes more than you. It just is what it is. Caleb Williams had commercials last year. He was making millions of dollars. Nico gets paid millions of dollars to go to Tennessee. He's actually been worth it so far. We're in the era, Jeff, of overpaid under-deliverers. That's what I call it now. there's very, very few underpaid over deliverers. And I believe you see that in life in general as well. Even as a content creator or an influencer or what have you, most of us look at it like this broad sells farts in a jar and makes how much money on OnlyFans? Like, think about it. Like, it's everywhere.
Supply and demand, man. People want it. You got to provide it. And listen, they don't know what their future is. Those two guys right there, they're going to make their own way in life, right? And I'm all for it. They should. How do they know that their father or mother is going to give them anything, right? We live in a society where generally you get what your parents do, but they don't know that. They're going to take what their talents are and try to get as much money as they can. I'm kind of doing a 180. I don't think they should comment on everything. I think they bring some things on themselves, but they're great talents, especially Shadur, and he's going to make a lot of money on his own.
The Shiloh deal is an interesting one because he's got baggage, obviously, with lawsuits and shit. And then you got a stiff DB, in my opinion, who's not an NFL guy. He's a CFL guy who I talk to quite often now on Twitter or on Instagram. I think he's more of a stiff-bodied guy that now is hurt. Is he going to have to take a medical red shirt or a red shirt and come back for year 25, age 25? Because I'm just telling you, that's going to be interesting to watch. Apparently, he's going to come back and play, but if he does, is he really risking NIL money at this point? Because I don't believe it. That's the debate I'm having, Bailey. Is he an NFL guy, or will you come back to get NIL money? That's my point on this. Like, he's going to be 25 years old or somewhere around there. I don't know if you just say, you know what, I'm going to do another NIL deal, run my Pops Media with my brother, and just kill it here. If we're going to stay here, Shadur goes off into the sunset, into the NFL with Travis Hunter. Or is he going to come back and re-injure that even more and definitely not have a shot at the next level? That's the debate I have with him. With Shadur, I mean with Shiloh, sorry.
Well, I think a lot of people think and view him as one of the better safeties in this class coming out, regardless of his injury or not. I
don't see that.
Yeah, I don't maybe necessarily do either, but certain draft companies do, and we'll take their word for it. But yeah, you coach, you would know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, every major NFL guy I talk to has no interest. He's very stiff. And he's not in this day and age. What do we do in the NFL, Jeff? We can't hit nobody no more. So he's not going to come down and hit nobody. He's not big enough to be that enforcer. You can't move him to linebacker. So he's going to be a very stiff, what do you want to call it, a liability out there. And I don't think you're going to be able to really have him at the next level defend number 2 slot receivers vertically.
Well, you mentioned him playing or like just working like for the family or whatever. And I'm fascinated by this because LiAngelo Ball does this. Like LiAngelo Ball just like doesn't do anything, and his brother's in the NBA. Do they give him money? Like, how does that work? I don't like. What does he actually do? What would Shiloh do? Like, I
run that deal. I guess the other brother, I don't know. They got that media company going, whatever it's
because I've never watched anything they do. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. But like, I guess, well, what would he do on a regular basis?
I don't know. I know he's older than all of them. I think he's only younger than the oldest son, I think.
Don't they have another son as well? Doesn't he do that too?
Yeah, he's the main guy. He's on Bailey and Matt's show every week.
So we're just gonna like live off our brother and father? Is that? I mean, nothing wrong with that. If you could do it, do it. But
yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. They're not wrong though. Listen, it's not the kids' issue. The NIL, the people that made the NIL is the issue. It's not the kids. Like, it's not the kids. Well-off media, yeah. It's not the kids' issue, in my opinion.
Well-off media? I didn't even know. I didn't even know what that is. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it's his own company, I believe.
Huh.
Dion's kids' company. So, yeah. D. Jones, shut the fuck up. What does it sound like I'm saying? Go fucking watch Trevor Lawrence shit the bed.
Let me ask you something, Coach, real quick. When it comes to this media company, is it as interesting when they're not at Colorado anymore? And like, they're just like I don't know.
No,
I don't watch it. So.
I don't watch them now.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know.
Hey, Jones, how the Jags doing, bro?
Hey Jeff, you got to hear about this Roddy White and beef with myself. I didn't know we had a beef until he posted a tweet that didn't tag me on. He tagged me yesterday. He said this last week. I addressed it in the media. He said, I can no longer watch your podcast anymore after your Travis Hunter nonsense. And then I responded and I said something. And then he wrote back last night, tag me. My bad. You're right about your take. It's your opinion. But what can we make that bet? We can make that bet. Whatever he chooses, man, will be a pro. When the next show, let's debate. So hopefully he'll come on. I said, let's go tomorrow or next week. Don't matter to me. Haven't heard back. So we'll see. I don't know if he's saving face with the public or I don't know. We'll see. Shaun King and I addressed him. I was like, come on, stop talking about you can't watch someone's show. Are you going to stop watching Richard Sherman's show too?
I mean, but this is the shit we see. You see it from these fucking goofs in the chat. You don't agree with something. Fuck me, dude. That fat fuck. Stupid haircut, bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck up, you sensitive ass. You're talking about I'm sensitive, but you're mad because I don't like unions or I don't like a certain player. It's an opinion. Like, why do we have to hate everybody if we don't agree with them? Nadu's got fake waves in his hair. Like, okay.
Yeah, I think addressing the chat is part of being a real show. I think we get engaged. You get you guys engaged. You should be actually happy. Most people won't even address you guys. Nobody even address you. I'm one of the few shows that actually talks to you guys. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I don't even address much anymore. I just fucking hide and move on.
I know. I mean, it's not like McAfee's bringing you guys in and fucking calls. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. I don't know. I don't like the NIL structure, but as long as they're gonna pay, it is what it is, man. That's just kind of where I'm at with it. I don't think there's anything else to it. Jeff, we got our Tuesday, Thursday special guest. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm hyped for this because I've got a big play on I like Miami this week.
Okay. Well, you're gonna get the Miami Hurricane extraordinaire, the Korean Cosell himself, co-host on Jason Whitlock's show every single day. You can catch at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern. Right after he leaves here, he goes straight to Whitlock. And then he does the 3 knockdown rule with Mario Lopez every day. Go follow that on YouTube and on X. Our main man, Steve Kim. Steve.
Morning.
What up? You back home, right?
I am back home tomorrow afternoon. I take the Big Bird up to the Bay Area for Miami Cal. It's going to be a fun weekend, and we're going to have a great time. By the way, the 3 knockdown rule is once a week. There's no way I'm getting Mario 5 days a week. And this week's show, we have the president of Top Rank Boxing, Todd DeBuff. I thought we had an outstanding conversation about a various amount of topics in the world of boxing and about himself, his company, and generally the industry itself. So everyone go check that out.
Let me ask you something real quick. We got a rundown for you, but Terrence Crawford said yesterday that he rejected a deal to fight Conor McGregor. He said he did not want to participate in a MMA fight. In a separate interview, Crawford and McGregor revealed that Turkish Al-Akish, the chairman of Saudi Arabia, had offered them a 2-fight agreement worth hundreds of millions. Smart deals. Is that going back to your Terrence Crawford that he's just about business, or would you turn down that hundreds of millions?
I think his explanation was he just really didn't feel like getting kicked and elbowed. And, Terrence can actually wrestle, though. His sons are really good young grapplers. He's one of the few boxers I think could actually have a little bit of success at the very least in the octagon. But I think he realizes what he is. He's a boxer. So you should know your role, know what you're good at. And he's going to probably be facing Sebastian Fundura. The WBO just recently gave a 10-day extension in terms of the negotiating period. So, look, boxers should box. I don't really like these cross-pollination fights. They're often very awkward. A lot of times they're actually just kind of mismatches. And Terrence, I've always said, is a very serious guy. There's not a lot of frivolity in his life, and I don't think he wants to be part of any circuses. And, once the boxer gets into an octagon, once they get knocked off their feet, and again, Terrence can actually grapple. I've seen footage of him pinning guys. He understands wrist control and leverage. But again, you're not used to getting kicked and elbowed and all that other stuff. And look, he's probably got a couple more fights left in him. We all know what he wants. He wants to work his way into Canelo Alvarez. So I don't think he's wasting any training camp time or any physical exertion on anything but boxing for the time being.
Before we dive into some Miami and stuff, I know Jeff has a take. I want to get your take on Jeff and I just talked about that Bailey brought in. And I know I saw you on Whitlock talk about Colorado, and that was their best performance to date, probably the Deion Sanders-led era in the 2 years, the most complete game, both sides of the football, especially up front, defensive line, offensive line. Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh came out and addressed the NIL haters. Take a listen to this real quick and tell me what you think.
Yeah, conversation. So the thing about it is like, all right, everybody fights so hard to get NIL. Now we have it. Now everybody want to hate on it, right?
Yeah, you can't fight. You can't ask to get paid, and then when people get paid and you hate on each other, that don't. Right. That just don't make sense.
I kind of actually agree because I don't listen. You know me, I hate this whole shit. But at the end of the day, they didn't create NIL. They're accepting NIL deals that come to them, and I think we got a lot of people crying over spilled milk that they don't get enough money. And then they see a Shiloh, a Caleb Williams, a Nico get millions and millions, endorsements, commercials, etc. Then they want to cry over not getting enough. That's why the NCAA opened up Pandora's box, in my opinion. What's your take on that right there? You got a different take?
No, yeah. Again, they're trying to play victims again. Like, oh my God, look, their NIL is actually very legitimate because it's not just pay for play. They are actually known figures that if they walk down the street at Times Square, there'd at least be a couple people saying, "Hey, that's Deion's son or the quarterback from Colorado." Most NIL deals are just the collective of boosters who say, "Okay, what's our roster and what's the salary cap?" So I don't sense a lot of hatred about that. I really don't, because their NIL is exactly what it was intended to do, is for a recognizable athlete to be able to cash in on their personality, their persona, and their play. But, I mean, this goes back to, oh, my God, I want to have street cred, so let me act like I'm oppressed. You're not. No one's hating. I hate that word, hating. No one is jealous of well, maybe certain people are. Maybe let me take that back. But they're making a non-issue out of it. I think people just don't like their behavior, which is their right, but they can behave any way they want.
That's what Jeff and I said. I said I think people are more hated because who you are, not really it's the program.
And they have to be involved in every conversation.
Yeah, like they're in too many grown folks conversations, Jeff. In my opinion, I hate that about them, Jeff. Steve, they're at the 50 talking to the head coach, shaking his hand when his dad's there. He's at the 50 talking about what the coach said about his dad.
And also remember, when they're winning, they want to have handshakes and they want to do everything. When they lose, they're off the field already. Remember that?
Or they leave early.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
We talked about that. It's crazy. It's a crazy one-sided fan base. I'll tell you that for sure.
Hey, I love this comment. Two whites and an Asian speaking on black athletes. Hey, Taylor Beats, here's the thing. If that's the standard, then you should never speak about anything else but black people. Are we going to keep it a buck here? Are we going to be
honest? Hey, you know what I would bet? I would bet dollars to dimes that fucks with a white girl.
Well, and that certainly is right, but I think that's funny when I hear that all the time. But here's the issue, though. I always hear about these are the guys that talk about Korean liquor stores, how they won't talk about the drug dealers in the community. Let's just leave it at that. Next subject, guys. I just want to clear that up because there's a hypocrisy there, and they don't live by the same standards they try to put on other people. They always seem to want a lower one. But anyway, guys, what do you want to talk about?
Hold on, though. I want to say one other thing. Last night, I mentioned that Rashee Rice's mom's trash and that he is too. And I was immediately racist. And I said, you do realize every day I talk about white criminals all day.
You have the biggest YouTube crime.
I talk about white criminals all day.
I mean, I think Italian mob would be closer to white than black.
Yeah,
right. Out there.
It is amazing because these are the very same online activists. I always ask them, outside of complaining and doing a hashtag on message boards, what have you invested into your community?
They're not They're not ever proactive, Steve. They're reactive.
Please list your resume of what you have done for have you created one job? Maybe you have. But again, I'm just going to ask that question. Have you created one job? Have you created $1 of your community to have a dollar that can be washed? Again, that has nothing to do with a black issue, so I will let you describe it. Go, Taylor Beats. I'm going to wait.
Oh, it's Taylor Beats? Is that who it was?
Yes.
And he brings up
Don't be mad at me,
right.
homie. Don't be mad at us, homie, because you got a white girl and she don't season her food and you're mad at her.
Again, this is the problem I have with Taylor Beats, guys like him. They will point out other businesses from people that come in, but never actually list black millionaires that have never put a dime into that community. That's a black issue. Taylor Beats, you ought to actually bring that up. In fact, start your own show and I will comment on that. Please go, Taylor Beats.
Where's LeBron at with the Puff Daddy shit? I ain't heard his name. I seen a commercial or nothing. That's crazy. Hey, let's dive into some football, Steve. Tonight's Amazon special. Smitty's out for a few days, so I'm going to try to be the optimistic one and just pray and hope and shit in one hand and wish in the other. See what fills up first on a great game tonight. But I just can't hold my breath. Where are you at tonight with this divisional showdown? Is this already a championship sort of feel? Because it looks like these two, because the Saints' inconsistencies at quarterback, in my opinion, will never be serious. The Panthers are a nobody. So are these two right here having to play twice this year going to set the tone tonight?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about the Falcons. Cousins limited physically. But, Coach, I think it's time to give Baker Mayfield some credit. I think he's turned into a pretty good NFL quarterback. He gives you consistently good play. And I think I mentioned this to Whitlock last week. This guy's won playoff games with the Browns and the Bucks. And right now, if you ask the Cleveland Brown fan, who would you rather take, Baker or Deshaun Watson? Who really upgraded there? And, look, Baker may never be super elite top 5, but he's in that top 10 discussion, and he gives you good, solid play. He studied that franchise post-Tom Brady. I have some appreciation for Baker.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think being moved around several times early on, everybody called him a bust, blah, blah, blah. I do not like how he's holding the football right there. But anyway, listen, I gave him ultimate credit when he went to the Rams for that one night on a 2-day He basically learned the protection on the airplane, showed up the next day. I gave him more credit than any quarterback I've given credit to in a long, long time. So, listen, I like his grit. I do. I just think he's going to show you who he really is when it counts. And that's just what he's been his whole life. I don't think a cheetah can change his spots overnight. So that's just where I'm at with him. But I don't know. I don't expect barn burners, Steve. I see another fucking 16-13 game.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked if we got a quarterback that throws for 120 and 180.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, look, I think Atlanta needs to lean on their running backs, Algieri and Bijan. Bijan finally looks like he's going to have a big year. I thought he was a tad disappointing.
He's running with violent intent, Steve.
Yeah, and he's got the greatest cuts. He's a slashing runner that can make people miss. I'd make him the basis of my offense. But this goes back, the Amazon Prime games, I don't actually watch live. What I will do is I'll watch the NFL Network replay of it later at night, cut through the commercials, because I started at about 10:15, because I may have to watch it for the Fearless show. So I can basically watch it without commercials. I miss the days when Thursday night was reserved for the biggest ESPN college football game. I still have unbelievable memories of Miami playing Houston and their version of the run and shoot. David Klingler came to the Orange Bowl, still one of the highest rated games in ESPN history. And to me, it always signaled like, hey, Steve, you're here at the weekend. Football has now begun. And now, and it's unfortunate because high school has become the victim here. College football's bigger games that aren't on Saturday are now on Friday night. So now you have this erosion of all 4 levels of football, basically. And I don't like it. I have not actually seen, guys and Jeff, I've never actually seen a Thursday night Amazon game live.
Neither have I. I can't say I have either. Yeah, I don't have any interest in going to watch it. And you make a great point about the Thursday college football, because now all of it is generally is Sun Belt or MAC. Like, you don't ever get a good game. I agree. I always thought Thursday night was the great game. You can kind of watch something else other than the NFL. I don't like it. I wish we had.
Guys, I can't wait for the Tuesday and Wednesday night games.
Yeah, they're coming.
Fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, look, those are conferences like the MAC and MACtion. They're
But
trying to get
Sunbelt's on
slots.
Thursday tonight. You had a couple of games. You're not watching those, Steve? You're not watching Sam Houston and UTEP?
Yeah, I mean, look, I will actually tune in a little bit. You know, a couple, like, you know, it's funny. About 2 weeks ago, I watched Appalachian State just get run out of their building.
South Alabama.
Yeah. And South Alabama has a good-looking offense. And they had a running back named Biff Pothwell or something who was really big, strong guy. I forgot his name, but he was a good player. But again, I missed the big Thursday night college football game. I don't know why they changed it, but once the NFL planted their flag there, you were never going to get that back.
Hey, Steve, real quick. The Boise State running back, Genty, Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, Milroe, Cam Ward. Who's the Heisman favorite today?
Right now, if it was based on pure merit, I think the top two would either be Hunter or Genty. But again, we're not even really into October football yet.
That's what I keep saying.
But will that supersede? Will that put him in New York with an undefeated Alabama quarterback?
Well, no. If Milroe keeps playing the way he does, he will be in New York. Cam Ward, I honestly, I don't think he played a very good game last week. Anytime you have 3 turnovers as a quarterback, it's not a good game. So he drops back slightly, but he can get going again. There's still, again, 8-9 games here left. If you're going to be in the playoff race.
People keep throwing out the name Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers is done.
Hasn't played in
Stop
3
looking
weeks.
at Quinn Ewers being invited.
But again, Steve, I said this to Coach JB the other day. You make a great point. It is only October. We're forgetting about Dylan Gabriel. Maybe Drew Aller makes a run with an undefeated Penn State team. He's a guy who, I mean, you got to look at these guys that are relevant. Let me ask you something, Steve. Okay, about 10 years ago, there was a kid that played at Navy called Keenan Reynolds.
Right, I remember him.
He should have been in New York. He was the best quarterback in the country. Are you looking at Genty and saying through 4 weeks? Okay, he's played Portland State, two of the worst rushing defenses in the country, and then Oregon, which he was very good against. They don't play a good team the rest of the season.
But here's Noel Mazzoni's point. Hey, Noel Mazzoni made this point yesterday, though, guys. And he's starting to get real critical because he doesn't have anything to lose on our Wednesdays. You got to watch Noel. He's starting to get active. He said, but then why did the quarterback at Ole Miss get so much goddamn hype? Have you seen their schedule?
Well, yeah, that's
Dart.
Daxton Dart get all this hype. They play Furman State, fucking Middle Tennessee, Wake Forest, and then they get
Georgia Southern,
Kentucky, and then Georgia Southern. Come on.
Well, again, that's why you don't make the award for September. I mean, we're only 1/3 or basically almost 40% of the way through. But I remember years like Robert Griffin was not a factor till about mid-October when people started recognizing, like, wow, this guy's kind of come out of nowhere. There have been other Heisman Trophy winners. Like, I remember in '97, everyone thought Peyton Manning was the presumptive winner. And that was the storyline. Then all of a sudden, Charles Woodson came out of nowhere and snatched that award away. So, again, let's get into the heart of conference play because it really began last week. And now most of these games are going to be a little bit more difficult than when teams are engineering very soft non-conference schedules. I think this discussion actually needs to take place when you start formulating a top 5 or 6 list, probably really at the beginning of November. Because now at this point, we have data points and teams are starting to level off a little bit, get to their real level. Now we can see who are the real serious contenders. But Jeff, as it relates to Ashton Genty, for him to make a serious run at the Heisman, I think he has to get to that Barry Sanders 1988 level. Right. Barry Sanders in '88 had 2,600 yards in an 11-game season. And then in the bowl game, which didn't count on the stats back then, he had another 220 yards against Wyoming in the Holiday Bowl. If he can get to well over 2,000 and somewhat close to Barry Sanders, that's one of the greatest years of any college football player in the history of the game, I think he will get consideration regardless of the Boise State schedule.
But you and I both know he will never win. He may get an invite, but he is in a G5 program, and they just don't win In fact, you got to go back to the 60s, the last time any won. Remember, too, I'm telling you, you got to look at Howard. You got to look at Gabriel, Drew Aller, guys at big programs. Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning. That's a guy I'm looking at. I will also say, Travis Hunter, they have a path to the playoff. I don't know that I think they'll get there. They could, though.
They do. Look, they're going to be a player in the Big 12. I think they're a much improved team on both sides of the line of scrimmage. It's a more measured approach. But, again, Ty Detmer in 1990 had a great start. They upset Miami, racked up big numbers. He was in the WAC. He was not in what I would call a major P5 conference. So it's been done before, and BYU played a lot of teams like San Diego State, New Mexico.
But Steve, if Jalen Milroe just keeps playing the way he is, right, against that schedule, and they get to the playoff, he's your winner.
Right. Well, again, let's see what happens. He could get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Miami at least is a big enough school and a big enough conference, though. If Cam Ward goes undefeated too, it's going to be a very interesting.
And Miami's starting to look like there's been two teams over the last 2 years, Washington and TCU, where they just win every game. You don't know how they do it, but they're doing it. Washington, they're starting to look a lot like Washington, Miami.
We're going to dive into that game right now, Jed. Let's dive into it. But before I dive into it, I got to talk about the stupidity of what NCAA has done, the non-carrying assholes of America, creating these schedules and these conferences. Miami set sail in a truck, and they're only fucking halfway there. And I know.
Well, that's their equipment. The equipment's not playing. They're actually flying in a day early, Coach. So
I get it. I'm just saying.
The equipment's always driven, though.
You know the cost, Steve? What is the cost of this shit? God. I mean,
look, that's the new ACC. There's nothing you can really do about it. Look, Miami is going to have to adjust their body clocks. I guess they're doing some things a little bit later because they're going to be playing a 10:30 game by their standards. It's a 7:30 start, but this is the reality. Television sets the schedule. The universities and really the conferences have nothing to do with this anymore. So,
Steve,
I want to have a nice, long, fun day of tailgating.
I want to catch them and take the ride up, and I don't have to drive and meet you.
Yeah, well, look, Southwest is cheap, so. Coach,
I know. I just got to deal with all the fucking everybody. All right, let's dive into this game, though. Cal played Florida State tough. We all know Florida State's probably one of the worst football teams in the country now after SMU just obliterated them. So Cal should probably be pretty upset at themselves for losing that game now that you look at it retrospectively. Where you at with this game, Jeff, on the betting side? And I want to get your take before Steve does.
Yeah, I'm big on Miami this week. I think this would have been a good spot for Cal had Miami almost lost last week. Kind of go out on the West Coast, land a big number. Justin Wilcox knows Cam Ward well, but it hasn't worked out. Cam Ward shit all over Cal last year. Cal was one of the worst pass defenses in the country. You look at who they've played this year, and if you're a Miami fan, you've got to be very excited about this. They have played nobody with a quarterback. This is a group that I think is a bend that will break defense. I don't think they can keep up with Miami. I'm curious at what Mendoza will do, the quarterback. Cal, a pretty good quarterback. We'll see if he can move the ball, but I would expect Miami has the full attention this week after that near loss. I laid the number. I laid 10 here. I think this is like a 38-13 type of game. I think Miami shows out as they do. They're going to throw. Cal is, this is who Cal's played so far. UC Davis, Auburn, San Diego State, and Florida State. I don't see a good quarterback there. They're going to get worked defensively.
On paper, going into the season, you see those games and you're seeing, Auburn, Florida State, and you're like, oh, fuck, that's a great schedule for Cal.
But they don't have quarterbacks. None of them do.
Yeah, it's not, though, because I'm going to be honest, and this is how I kind of look at it. When I saw that game days going there, fucking college football's watered down. Let me tell you. There's not a better game on the slate. And no offense to Miami Hurricanes and Steve Kim, but there's not a better 1-2 matchup in the country this week.
Well, Coach, this is not a great week. October 12th is really the weekend. There's like 5 or 6 marquee primetime games. There's a little bit of a hole in the schedule. Look, Cal defensively is pretty good, though. I like their cornerback.
Steve, come on. You look at the schedule. The schedule.
I'm with you. Look, they haven't played Murderer's Row, but their cornerbacks are pretty good, though. Noah Williams and the other guy, they take the ball away. But look, Miami should win this game. But what I'm looking to see here is two things. Cam Ward has got to get back to playing clean football. That means no turnovers. Take care of that ball. Ball protection is job protection, okay? The other thing is Miami's got to get the running game going. They have not run the ball very well, and there's not a lot of variety in how they block up front. They don't run a lot of counter. They don't run a lot of pin pull, and it's been mystifying. And look, there's going to come a point in this season where they're going to have to run the ball eventually to win a game. It's hard to be 2019 LSU where you're just on the money every single time like Joe Burrow and his fleet of NFL receivers. I expect them to win this game. I think they do cover. Fernando Mendoza's not a bad quarterback, but he does not bring the athleticism of Kyron Drones, who really riddled Miami last week. And look, this is an important game for Miami on two fronts. Number one, you want to remain undefeated. Number two, they're a little bit banged up. Next week is a bye week, which I think comes at a perfect time. So you get to the bye week undefeated. Now you could start to heal up and face a pretty tough Louisville team over there. That's a road game. That's one of the tougher games they have. So, look, there's no minimizing the importance of this game. If Miami wants to remain an elite team and you want to be a good program that's building, Cristobal has to get out there and with the victory.
Hey, Steve, let me ask you. I'm curious what you think. Who's the main competitor for Miami? Is it SMU?
No, it's Clemson.
Clemson.
I've told people don't give up on Clemson.
Yeah, they've been working.
They got blown out by, I'm just telling you, Clemson has a lot of defensive talent in that front seven. They have NFL guys like Peter Woods, T.J. Parker. They got who's that linebacker? Barrett Carter. They have a really good freshman, Brown, at linebacker. And they are allowing Cade Klubnik to throw on early downs. I'm just telling you that Georgia game plan, they gave their quarterback no shot to win. But it is starting to look like a Garrett Riley offense.
And this is the offense I was waiting for with them. They hadn't done it. Wow.
Jeff, they're actually just letting Cade Klubnik run the ball. They're letting him throw it vertically on early downs. It's not just 3rd and 10. Oh, no. And they're starting to work in young freshmen like Bryant Wesco, who I think is finally going to be their next great receiver. He's got a lot of promise. Clemson is an absolute threat for the playoffs. I never wrote them off. I actually did like that team from the beginning.
Clemson beats Georgia today.
And guess who they play?
Whoa, really, Coach? Really?
Georgia's not – Carson Beck is very overrated. That's a game one for Georgia that Georgia loves to be in those game ones. I don't believe Georgia has gotten better at all week to week. I think they've gotten worse. Looking at them, getting a chance to see Georgia every week because they're always on, they look worse week in, week out. And Kentucky should have beat them. Alabama should have it should have been 42-7. I mean, really, to be honest.
Am I crazy to think that Florida State's going to hang? Some tells me they throw out a game.
No,
here's why. Hold on. Give me a second. DJU, they're getting 14 points at home. I could see like a Boston College type performance last year against Florida State where like they hang. They're right there. They maybe don't win the game, but everyone's going to be on Clemson, Steve. You know that. Everyone's going to be on Clemson.
I think Clemson still has some harsh feelings over that canceled game a couple years ago. And Brock Glenn's the new starter, who I don't know if he's going to be any better.
DJU's out. DJU's
out.
That's
right. He got injured. That's true.
So, Brock.
That might be good for them, though. That might be good.
Look, Brock at least has the support as of now of the fan base. What was going on with DJ and the Florida State fans is very unfortunate when a fan base turns on a player at home. I mean, literally every time they come off the field, you'd hear boos. And look, I get it. They're pros now. But you still felt for the kids because I think psychologically it began to affect them. But that effort they gave against SMU in that second half last week, Jeff, I watched most of that game.
Yeah.
I don't want to say they quit, but they didn't exactly give the most maximum effort I've ever seen out of a Florida State team.
But again, what did we last see? Florida State gave no effort. Clemson's fucking up every opponent they play. Now they got to go on the road and take on a team that they think is maligned and lost. I'm telling you, Florida State will call something. I throw all that out.
You're the betting guy. If that's true, I want to.
This is the spot you look for, man.
Yeah, I just think Florida
so
State
high on Clemson. Maybe.
I would be surprised if Florida State stayed within 17. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's going to be like a 56-7.
Well, let's just say this: if Florida State doesn't show up here, are they ever? I mean, you're never going to. If you can't get up for this game,
I think they're depleted. They've lost the locker room. He's lost the locker room, similar to Sirianni, similar to Mike McDaniel, similar to Doug Peterson. They've lost their respective locker rooms across America.
Has Auburn? Is Auburn in the same position? It seems like they've just come up short in every game.
Yeah, but Auburn has one problem. They don't have a quarterback. They actually outplayed Oklahoma for much of that game. And Peyton Thorne, I thought he'd be at least serviceable coming, from Michigan State. He's been okay, but he's had some terrible moments. And then the other quarterback, that freshman Hank Brown, he shat the bed against Arkansas. I don't think he's ready. Hugh Freeze has a very interesting decision to make. I know they just flipped a 4-star quarterback from Notre Dame who's a dual threat, who fits the system. But is he really ready to play day one coming to Auburn? Auburn, in my view, has to be in the market for a bridge quarterback for 1 year from the portal, or they're going to go through the exact same thing next season.
So you have to figure Georgia's that's a great spot for them this week. Auburn's kind of maligned. They've lost to several games in a row. They don't have a quarterback. That seems like a 34-3 type of game.
Yeah, wasn't that game at Georgia? Because last year they played at Auburn, and I remember Brock Bowers kind of bailing out everybody there. But, I mean, and by the way, the loss of Brock Bowers has not been talked enough, Coach.
No.
I don't think Georgia's the same team without him. He's one of the best players of the past decade.
McConkey, too. They're hurting at both of those spots. I'm telling you.
I mean, Brock Bowers is on my Mount Rushmore of college tight ends in terms of play and production. I'm not talking about him being an NFL all-time great. I don't know if he has the size. But the impact he made in college since his first year, and then he did things athletically where he would – like that Auburn game last year, they were kind of dead in the water, and he made some plays. I was like, wow, this guy is unbelievable. And I don't think his – loss has really been talked about enough when it comes to UGA.
Yeah. Steve, before you get out of here, we got a very interesting topic. It's going viral, obviously. The third college volleyball team refuses to compete against this made-up human opponent, forfeiting another game. You and I have talked about this a while ago. This is similar to the WNBA, when the women don't support their own and then they bitch at the men for not supporting. We've been saying, when are the women going to stop and say, no, enough is enough? Where are the dads? Where are the moms? We're not playing against a 6'2" man. This is the third team, Steve. What's your take on this? And shout out to them for standing on business.
Yeah, look, I guess you could say they have the right to play, those who transition. And you know what? The opponents have a right to say, we'd rather not. If they're willing to deal with the ramifications, because real activism takes sacrifice. It's not just bitching and moaning in a chat room or hashtagging on Twitter. I give these teams credit because there's actually going to be some blowback, and they're sacrificing a loss. I give them credit, but this is going to be something that until more teams do it, I don't believe that the universities themselves are going to make a change by themselves.
I agree, because administrators are scared. They're scared. They defend the parent over the teacher or the instructor. They defend the other people over the coach. Coaches can stand on business and say, this is not what I represent, and the administration will fire them. This is what it is. Unless you have full autonomy like a Gino Auriemma or a Hurley at UConn, which seems to be the programs that are serious when it comes to women's and men's sports. But then you see these other places, man.
You guys remember, and you guys, this movie I watched the other day, you remember like 20 years ago, that film Juwanna Mann came out?
Juwanna Mann, yes.
Yeah, and like we watched it, it was like a comedy. It's like, will never happen. It's funny. And now it's like, this is happening a lot, and it's real. Like, it's a real thing. 20 years ago, you guys are older than me. If I'd have told you we would be talking about this, like, and be dead serious about it, what would you have said?
I mean, that's a great question. Look, none of these movies are made by coincidence, though. Maybe it was a warning shot. Maybe it was foreshadowing. I remember a couple of years ago, they tried to build up this thing about that female that was kicking at Vanderbilt, and she couldn't even really do a good squib kick. I was hoping that there'd be a run back that went through the first level. And that girl, I'd be like, welcome to football. And I'm thinking to myself, what is look, at the end of the day, I don't think it's sexist to say that men are bigger, stronger, faster. Biologically, that's just the truth. You look at bone density, muscle mass, you look at every testing that they have done diagnostically for athletes. Women should not be competing with men, but vice versa, men should not be competing with women.
Exactly.
It's a mockery, and to say it has now become taboo. And this is where I don't give a lot of the WNBA, they protest over a lot of different things. None of them will ever say a word about this. They won't, and that's why it's hard to take them seriously.
Yeah, where are they at right now? Where are they saying, good for you girls? Good for you girls. Like, I haven't seen one fucking WNBA player come out.
Well, Coach Nadu, you know what's interesting, and I talked about this with Whitlock about 2 years ago. When that swimmer that transitioned, what's his name? I call him Marcia Spitz. When she was out there dominating, it was so funny. So you think it's a big issue. So they say, hey, Steve, we're going to talk about this today. So I happen to go on the ESPN dedicated website to women's sports. I think it's called ESPNW. So I just looked around the archives. I looked on the front. They didn't have a single story or a mention of that person. I'm thinking, wait a minute. If you care and you're advocating for female athletes, you're not speaking about this at all?
Of course not.
It's a joke.
I think their silence spoke volumes.
It's a fucking joke, man.
Advocates are the fucking worst because none of them are actually advocates.
Yeah,
no, they're not. And then they demand that you be allies. When I hear, well, are you an ally? Look, bro, this ain't World War II. We're not in NATO. And basically, when you talk about we need allies, that basically means agree with everything I say, or I'm going to whine if you don't.
Or we hate you. Yeah.
Right. And that's the whole Asia Wilson thing where she's like wagging the finger at Kelsey Plum. And I'm like, oh, God.
By the way,
Jesus.
Steve, I just wanted to tell you, Taylor Beats is actually a female. I'm learning in the chat.
No way. I just said she's ignorant as fuck. I just said she's ignorant.
Yeah, Taylor Beats actually said she's a female, I believe.
No way.
Yeah. Taylor Beats, you seem like you are anti-Asian American. That's what I'm starting to notice now.
Well, here's the thing. She said Asians didn't fight for civil rights. I never said they did. I didn't know it was a prerequisite for being an American.
Yeah, but see how many Japanese people had to struggle with racism when they came here.
I mean,
after World War II, Taylor Beats. You don't know nothing about that.
I don't understand this. Like, we didn't fight for civil rights. I didn't know I was supposed to. My job as an American is to pull my own weight and to work a job honestly, pay taxes, unfortunately, and live lawfully.
Taylor seems like, she hates everything.
Yeah,
everything
which is fine. But I think there comes a point where there has to be a little bit of accountability. And, it's funny when people say the model minority, they always throw that at Asians. That does not mean being perfect. Asians have a criminal culture. They do have some deep-rooted problems.
They absolutely do, yeah.
I grew up with some Asian boys. They're gangsters. Let me tell you.
What the difference is? They don't go around whining about it, blaming anyone else. If something happens in an Asian community, that's on us. We will never blame white supremacy. And I love it. And I actually think it's a very bad trend when I see Asians trying to run away from the model minority tag. I think it's actually a great compliment. I don't really think it's ever hurt or held us back. But again, what have you done for your community? That's all I'm asking is, like, have you ever actually held black business people who will do business, who have money? But if you actually wonder why there are so many Asian grocers and liquor stores in certain communities, it's because no one else will do it. All the white corporations now are moving out of places like Oakland. That is the truth.
Taylor, I got to be honest. Taylor, you sound like an oxymoronic fucking idiot.
Steve, some people...
They said they get loans in our community and set up shop. Then why don't you get loans and set up shop? Exactly. You fucking idiot. You guys are such a fucking idiot. I want to see your profile picture.
Again, this is the thing. Last year, Whitlock had a show. I thought he had Marshall Falk and Warren Sapp on, and he started complaining that in their something to the effect that, well, in our neighborhoods we don't own our businesses. I wanted to look up what they made in their NFL careers, probably hundreds of millions of dollars, but did they buy 1 ounce or 1 block of property? Did they put a lease on a certain building to say, okay, we're going to create our commerce and economy, and I will hire people that look like me because that is our community? Or did you spend the money, which is your right, on something else? See, here's the issue. Don't blame the people that did when you didn't. And to think that Asian immigrants have more of a say economically based on what they come to this country with than Americans that have been here for years, especially if you're a professional athlete, it's illogical. It's simply untrue. And that's where I'm just like, there should be no guilt trip, because this is another thing. I'm going to end it with this. I always hear all the time, I talk to Tommy Sotomayor, shout out to Tommy if he's out there. I'm always saying, well, the Asians sell the poison liquor to their own, to our communities. Okay, I guess you can make an argument. So do drug dealers, but you don't have the same anger to them. But when I buy my malt liquor, my St. Ives, my Ripple, my Cisco, or
Brass Monkey,
whatever, when I go to a Korean community, the liquor stores are still owned by Koreans, so they're selling the poison to us too. Seriously. This whole notion that Koreans are only going to sell the good stuff in our Koreatown, but let's sell the poison, that's not true. Basically, anytime I go to Koreatown to get beer or liquor, it's always Koreans. So are they poisoning me, or am I making that decision as a consumer based on supply and demand?
Yeah.
But anyway,
shout out to Dat Win, Jeremy Lin, Rui Hashimura.
Yeah. Hey, listen, and then if you say anything that's real, you're racist. So
right.
What
and so what I would say to everyone else out there, read Thomas Sowell. You need Thomas Sowell in your life. If you're looking for me just to feel sorry for you, I'm not, because no one feels sorry for me. That's life. But that's okay. You can be angry. You can, as Thomas Sowell says, the philosophy of grievance. Look up that term. Once you get over that, your life will be better. But anyway, guys, I'm going off to Cal. Hope everyone out there has a great weekend, guys.
Hey, some people are saying you are part of the Yakuza. Is that true?
Yeah, right. No, I don't want to get tattoos. I'm not part of the Yakuza. Very, very interesting organization there. But
hey, are you on Whitlock after this?
I will be on Whitlock. I'm not coming on at the beginning of the show. I'll be on at the end of it. Whitlock's going to be riffing about the situation with the women's volleyball players and all that stuff. But I will be on probably at about the 50-minute of that show, 50-minute mark.
Hey, real quick, though. Just give me a yes or no. UNLV is a playoff team.
Yeah, now that they got their best quarterback under center, yes. Haj Malik Williams, another an enterprising young man. But I think they're solid, and Barry Odom, I hope they can keep him. But, Coach, you know the way this works. He may not be there much longer.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of the day. I know he might be saying I want $300,000.
Right. So anyway, guys, have a great weekend, Coach. I'll talk to you. Nadu, good talking to you.
Cheers, Steve. Yep, take it easy, man.
Somebody in the chat said, take one of my homeboys from the hood to a bank and see if they get a loan. I can't get a loan.
Nobody can get a loan at a bank.
That's the problem.
You know,
I've never been able to get. I told y'all I've never been on the other side of white privilege. I've never got it because I've always helped brothers, sisters. I was raised in that community, and that's my environment. I'm proud to say it too. I could never get a loan. My credit's always been shitty. Do you see me on this show crying over spilt milk, Taylor Beats? You fucking cowardly victim cunts, man. Is unbelievable. How about you pull up your big boy pants and fucking blame your motherfucking self? It ain't nobody else's fault that my credit's shitty. Just throwing it out there. And you don't hear me say it either. It's my fucking fault. So I'm just throwing it out there. Why don't you start to say, you know what? Let me go be a fucking hustler then. Yeah, I paid for a yacht with cash money. And, motherfucker, I'm a hustler, bitch. I don't need to fucking ask for your fucking approval either. And I bought a $100,000 fucking truck and a $100,000 fucking 650i and a fucking house and a fucking other house. And don't knock my hustle because you're a victim, bitch. Anyway. I can't stand a victim, motherfucker, man. And this Taylor Beats says that she runs a YMCA Boys and Girls Club. No wonder we're fucked. No wonder we're fucked. Because of you fucks like Taylor Beatsers out there with no profile picture standing on business.
And guess what she's doing? She's teaching the victim mentality to every kid.
Everybody. She's a fucking joke. She's from fucking suburban fucking Chicago on the other side. She lives out there by fucking like Schaumburg. And she's claiming fucking big black power. Take your soft ass out of here, bitch. You're a fucking cowardly little bitch. And I hope you are a fucking girl, because I hate calling girls bitches, but I'll call you one because I think you're a boy. Because you're a little boy. So shut the fuck up and show your face then. Exactly. You won't. Now let's dive into a little bit right before another commercial. Jeff, Jerry Jones shows up in his fucking extreme fashion, pulls up on a fucking helicopter and basically sees his practice. Is that dick measuring 101? My dick's bigger than half of the world, and I'm do whatever the fuck I want to do, and all eyes on me. This is my fucking baby, and I've ruined this baby. I've actually continued to enable this baby since Jimmy Johnson left this baby, and I am now, can I just say that I've fucked this organization over?
Yeah,
let's be honest.
And remember, we're a 2-2 team. We can't get a fucking stop on defense, and we're stopping practice so our billionaire owner can be a fucking. This guy's a weirdo, dude. Straight up, total weirdo. I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. He has ruined them. They haven't been relevant for 30 years. Love to see it. Fuck Dallas.
Yeah,
maybe he'll die eventually.
Yeah, it's a bad issue. We got commercials, Jeff. Let's take we got some white people shit, some black people shit right before in honor of Taylor Beats. In honor of Taylor Beats, we got some WPS, BPS. Let's run it. Holy shit.
American Gladiators.
Jeff, I mean, that's as white as it gets. I'm going to be honest. I've never seen something so white. I'm not doing that ever. Are you?
Well, I'm going to say this guy's a pussy, and I'm going to tell you why. Do this on like a skyscraper, bro. That would be way cooler. Like, he's not even that high up. He's like 20 feet up.
Yeah, if you hit that,
fine if he
though.
do it on like the Empire State Building, and then he's a real white guy.
Yeah, if we fucking, I don't know.
How did he get up there though?
I have no idea. Fucking spider.
But look how high he is. He's not even that high. He jumps down. He's good. Do it on the Chrysler Building or the Sears Tower. Then he's a real white guy.
Look at this guy. He's like done this a lot.
No shit. Wow.
He got the basketball.
I mean, that is kind of baller. I'll be honest. How did he get up
on that pole though? He jumped to that pole.
Yeah, that's pretty baller.
That pole is a lot higher than the 10-foot ramp.
Real quick, speaking of in a gym, did you see that goofy video Angel Reese put out? Totally not staged.
With Shaq?
Yeah, totally not staged.
Yeah, fucking joke. Got some BPS. That's Houston.
I wanted to hear that music.
Yeah, we'll get.
I love that. Actually, looks kind of dope, to be honest.
Cyber Slab.
Every cyber truck should look like that. That actually looks kind of cool.
They're fucking horrible looking to me. I don't understand.
That looks like a cooler one. Like those other, there's a guy in my neighborhood that has one of those, and it looks real lame. That looks cool, actually.
I kind of think I'm leaning that that's a Mexican though. That could be MPS, Bailey. That could be MPS. I'm leaning towards that's a Mexican. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know who does the date. What are those like spinner? Fucking spindle spinner. Fucking old school. Fucking holy shit.
He's out that Swisher house with Archer Lee and Coda Bang, sit inside candy paint. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. I think that's a white guy. That's a definitely. I think it's a white guy.
A white dude in that?
That's a dude with little swag. I would do
something.
Yeah.
Paul Wall with some fronts.
Look at those rims, bro. Got the spinners. Remember the spinners, bro?
Yeah, Spreewells.
Yeah, they 3-6 Mafia. Rod and spinners.
Vincent said that's a brother. I don't know.
Where'd you get that? I'd love to see the TikTok. I guess the guy that posted it's his TikTok. I would love. Let's look the license plate up. I'll look the license plate up. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
Hey, Halo Beats, if you get pulled over right now, whose fault is it?
It's the white cops.
Hey, man, we're taking a commercial break. We'll be back in 4. I got to get a coffee, take a piss.
Look at this.
Look at that shit. That's my boy. That's my boy right there. BTS to the fullest.
Y'all stop playing, man.
He's beating the dirt bike so fast.
That motherfucker
good, though. He ain't not good.
If that dog makes a fucking move, though, that thing's flipping.
This is my first time into the corner. Into the corner. Oh, man. Hey, bro, this is my first time seeing
a motor on it.
That's definitely Florida.
It has a motor.
Hey, I don't know if you ever saw Sons of Anarchy. Remember when they put the guy on they chained his wheelchair to the back of the bike? You ever see that scene?
No, I never watched that.
You ever watched that?
Nah. Is that Taylor Beats? Taylor, is that how you go to the YMCA Boys and Girls Club, motherfucker? Hey, we'll see you in 4 minutes, man. I got to take commercial. Hey, what up, homie? Hey, what up, homie? The real one's here. The real one, you prime sexual motherfuckers. Hey, the real one's here. What's happening, homie? Hey, let me ask you something. Have you coached before? I just want to ask a question.
Yes.
You've coached. What level?
Young kids.
Young kids. So your resume is equal to mine. That's coached grown men at the same level. That's sent 28 to the league, 250 D1 kids, highest graduation rate, nobody thrown in jail that's ever played for me. And other than I cut, other than that false shit you put out about Bobby. By the way, homie, I cut him 3 years before that video that you showed that he got arrested. So make it make sense. See, y'all do these false narratives, bro. Hold on. No, it wasn't my player. No, it wasn't my player, homie. That's what you don't understand. No, you associate him. Hold on, homie. Hold up. Let's be real. Hey, by the way, I actually appreciate all y'all in there talking and letting us talk because it's what grown men do. So I'm gonna, because I keep it real. I appreciate how you guys are managing this conversation. But let's be real. This kid you know from Netflix, homie. You don't know him from playing for me. Keep it funky. That kid got cut. Homie, he got cut. Did he not get cut by me on Netflix? Did he not get cut by me? Hold on. I know where he's from. Motherfucker. Who you think recruited the motherfucker? So, homie, do you think I don't know where the fuck I got him from? So let me be clear here. This man was cut from my team for doing a criminal act on Netflix, and I cut him, did I not? So if he goes after me and gets arrested 3 years later, how the fuck are you associating that with me? I tried to do everything I could for that young man. I tried to do everything. I gave him 6 opportunities. You don't think his head coach is my homeboy in Titusville? You don't think I know his mama, homie? You don't think I know the people that I got him from? Come on, man. You guys spill this drama, homie. You guys say the wrong shit.
Lucy, the prime sexuals are out.
That's the thing, though. You can't put out that fake shit when I still talk to Bobby and I still help Bobby and I put money on Bobby and you can't talk that shit because let me ask you guys something, homie. For all the hate out there, I'm gonna drop the mic on this. Show me one player, homie, that's played for me that has come out and talked shit about me. Because y'all don't understand. Real recognizes real, homeboy. How about Jermaine Johnson, first rounder? Have you hollered at him? Have you seen what he said about me? How about all the other NFL players I got in the league? You don't have to hunt them down, homie. If I was such a bitch, homie, what do you mean? You sound ignorant. If you don't gotta hunt nobody down if they want to hate on you. What are you talking about? If a motherfucker wanted to talk about me, how about Tank Dell? Have you hollered at Tank Dell about me? How about those motherfuckers? How about you go holler at real ones that actually make it, not the ones that got cut, homie? How about you go do that?
Lonnie Johnson.
Why the fuck I gotta do it, motherfucker? I'm the motherfucker. Why I gotta do it? You the motherfuckers chasing this bait, homie. Why I gotta do it? Y'all got me muted. Y'all got me muted, homie. Go ahead. Let me ask you guys something. I don't need to go hunt it down. I did it. I lived it. It's in my resume. I got 28 in the league. I got 10 first rounders. Yeah. What do y'all got? What do y'all got? Let me ask you something. Let me ask something though. Let me ask you a real question real quick, because I just finished my show and I heard y'all doing something about me, which I give you credit. You made up a thing about me. Here's the thing. It takes a lot to go out of your way to create a thumbnail and all this old shit about another grown man. To me, it's a lot of feminine energy, but I got to be real. Let me be real. I got a show, homie. I do a 3-hour show, homie. Homie, I got a 3-hour show. You motherfuckers are nobodies. I got Kirk Herbstreit on my show, motherfucker. Who you got? Let me ask you a question. Do y'all know Dion? No. You don't know Dion? Are you fucking kidding me, homie? I know the motherfucker. You don't even know him? You motherfuckers are clowns. You don't even know him? Y'all don't even know this motherfucker. Y'all don't even know him, homie. Y'all some dick riders. Y'all some dick riders. Y'all some dick riding fanboys. Y'all some dick riding fanboys, homie. Y'all motherfuckers are dick riding fanboys. Get your sorry asses out of here, you dick riding fanboys. Shut your bitch ass up. You fucking dick riding fanboys. God damn, these motherfuckers don't even know him, homie. That's the fucking. Oh my God, I hope we recorded that.
Oh yeah, we're live. We're still live.
Hey, good. That shit is comedy. That
was a great clip.
I was looking at it right now. I was like, "Fuck, Bailey's in the show right now, live." I got
That was before Bailey became a Colorado fan.
That was before Bailey ran the show.
Okay, enough of this. I'm not a fucking fan. I'm sick of this shit because everyone in the chat saying I get paid to cover fucking Colorado.
You kind of are
a fucking fan.
You were on the whole stream though.
A little bit, Bailey.
No, but I'm just saying, bro. That's the truth.
I love Bailey who gets mad. That was a clip. Bailey, where we at on the chat?
D Jones hating as usual.
Oh, is he on me?
No, on everybody.
Lucy, Bailey's not poor Bailey. Don't look at him like poor Bailey. Bailey's grown now. Bailey's out of the house. Bailey's been on his own for a long time now.
By the way, can we get Bailey back on the screen? I just want to comment on something. Bailey, can you come back? You got a nice ass house, bro. By the way,
it's just an apartment, but yeah, I appreciate it.
Who decorated that? A girl, right?
Decorated it? No, that was me, bro. I got that at Ross, every Walmart.
There's no way you decorated that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, have you seen my house, bro? I'm fucking.
Yeah.
Looks like a female decorated your. I mean, mine's the same way. If you see mine, I'm not gonna lie.
Did a female do it?
My mom, yeah. My mother came in.
Your house?
Yeah, she was all about it.
Really? Nah, yeah. I do my own. I do my own shit. I redo my own shit every fucking.
My mother comes over every year and puts up a Christmas tree for me because I won't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I do my own. I do 2 Christmas trees.
And by the way, for anyone that wants to act mean to me, yeah, I love my mother. We do things like that.
Yeah, no shit.
Amen.
All right, Bailey, let's dive into the next thing here. We got I know we broke down this game. We're going to dig into some college football, but I want to get your take on John Gruden eyeing college football before I get your Gonzaga take.
I've heard you've been eyeing college football too. Is it true you might be the next Florida coach?
Yeah, it's always every year. I'm the new somebody's coach. But no, they're too scared of me. John Gruden's been making everyone's doing a podcast now, but he's doing a breakdown segment podcast, and he's doing some shit. I think I don't think they're going to let him in, man. There's certain people that are blackballed. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm worried that Vrabel and Belichick, Gruden, guys like us, I say us because I'm obviously in that same deal, not on their level, but attitude-wise and not give a fuck and really coach young men and turn boys into men and actually demand greatness and actually teach and actually tell people they're wrong when they're wrong and right when they're right and, shit that coaches and leaders are supposed to do. They don't want those guys in it no more, man. They want Mike McDaniel to run a practice without pads and helmets and have fun. It's a fun. I never knew contracts worth $200 million are fun. Like, I wish I could just get $200 million to fuck around and not do nothing and not have any stress. Stress, Jeff, is what bursts pipes. Like, I thought that, diamonds are made through a very, 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 very rigorous operation and what they
pressure bust pipes. That's correct.
And I'm trying to figure out, like, nothing great that I've ever seen in life has just been thrown out there. I've never found the bag of money on the street, Jeff. Sorry, I've never been that guy. I've never been that guy. Oh, shit.
I hope I do.
Hope I do, too. But look at the coaching landscape. They can't wait for Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, Andy Reid, MCDC in Detroit to get out. I'm just telling you, this is what they're doing. They're doing this on purpose. It's not a fucking luck of the draw that there's flag football being played at the Pro Bowl now. They're transitioning it in front of your very eyes. Did you ever think the NFL would have flag football?
No, I never. But again, I don't understand this because 6 days ago I could have sworn he said he was retired. Like, he's good, he's out. I'd love to see him back, but I agree he's blackballed. Let me ask you. You mentioned finding a bag of money. I posed this question on Twitter, and I'll ask you. You go to the beach a lot. Let's say you're walking on the beach. You're at the dock, right? Going on your boat, and you find a kilo of packaged cocaine ready to go, and nobody else sees it but you. What is your next step?
Right now, currently?
Let's say today you go to the dock and you find next to your boat a black shopping bag. You look into it, and it is a kilo of packaged cocaine. What are you doing with it?
Where I'm at in today's life and in this life, I'm calling somebody to come get that motherfucker away from me. Probably an authority figure, not my homie. Because in my opinion, where I'm from, I would think it's a total setup. And I would not be somebody's watching, and I'm like, no, get that fucking shit out of here. Now, 20 years ago, there's a different story. But I'm not gonna. There's no way I'm putting what I've earned in jeopardy. Like, I've earned what I've done. I'm not putting that in jeopardy. That's the problem, though. We don't have adults telling kids the difference between going and earning something and getting something for free and what the difference in value is.
Well, they call that, though, living and finding out the hard way. I said it during those riots, all those kids stealing sneakers out of stores and not realizing that they're going to go back on all that. And they're going to hit you with burglary. And guess what? A felony, you'll never get an apartment. You're going to have a trouble getting a job. And you're going to have to look 20 years down the road and say, what the fuck did I do? Luckily, though, it wasn't murder one, and you're not doing life for it. It was just a question I had because I've seen it happen. You see these people that get $10,000 in their bank account for no reason, and they go out and spend it. It's like, well, it was a glitch. We're going to take that money now.
I know. There is a thing called the Holy Ghost setup. A lot of people don't know that. If you're from the hood, you'll understand it. But there is a thing called the Holy Ghost setup. I've been around that my whole life. It's called the Holy Ghost setup for a reason. They're setting you up.
I figured you were going to say that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know if you realize, but you're setting you up. There's a reason why it's there. It's not most things too good to be true are what?
Too good to be true.
Too good to be true. And you also get what you pay for, Jeff. You truly get what you pay for in life, in my opinion. If you go cheap and you find out in a year why.
Now let me flip it though. Let's say it's a bag of money. It's 4 $5,000 rolls of cash in a bag.
20 grand?
Yeah, 20 grand.
Nah, I'll make that this month. Fuck no. I ain't fucking with that.
But what if it's 100? Are you taking it?
Nah, it's a setup.
Like, the dollar not really matter? But let me ask you, though, if you found $20 on the street, you pick it up, wouldn't you?
$20, yeah.
So what does it matter? $20
is a mistake. 100 grand's not.
But you could always give it back if someone comes calling.
I don't know anybody I don't know one person that's going to forget 100 grand, that's going to leave 100 grand.
But would it change? Would it change if the doughboy down the street was being chased by the cops, tossed it out the window, you grabbed it, walked up to it? Would it change your mind?
A little bit.
What if it's an old lady?
Old lady did it?
Yeah.
Dropped it out?
Yeah, it falls out, let's say.
Oh, it falls out. I'm giving it back to her.
So, okay. So you all right. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm consistent, bro. I've been through all these scenarios in my head and in real life. I know what I'm doing in real life. Here's the thing. People bitch and moan and cry over spilled milk. And I don't. Like, I've done jail time because I did a crime. Like, I want to be clear here. I wasn't falsely accused when I was young and I was an idiot and I was with my boys and we were doing licks. I did it. And guess what? I never did it again. Like, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. I spent 18 months in Tehachapi. And listen, I did pig farming. And I fucking, listen, I don't wish it on anyone. And LA County jail was 10 times worse. Just throw it out there. LA County is the worst holding tank in America. I'm just telling you.
I know you don't watch Last Chance U, and I'm not going to shout out Netflix, no free ads. But if you are looking for a show to watch, anybody out there, there's a show where they talk about that. You remember a couple of years ago that CO helped an inmate escape, and they were like in love. You remember that?
Oh yeah,
I watched that the other day.
I heard it's out. Is it good?
Very good. I never knew the lady died. I never knew.
Yeah. I remember it all happened. McChesney, yeah. My boys are the head coach. My boy's the coach and the athletic director at Camp Kilpatrick.
But what's dope about it is they play all their wiretap conversations. Like they play all the like you hear her talking to him and like and I never knew this, JB. She was like a really high up in that prison. Like she was like she wasn't some like random CO. Like she was like the head of COs in that place.
Yeah.
It was great. It was very good.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Listen, we already did the VP debate, but I wanted to get into some picks real quick because obviously we're going to make our picks tonight, but then there's college football this weekend. You coming on tomorrow still? In your slot?
Yeah, sure.
All right. We'll make some picks tomorrow too and then we got our Sunday show. But tonight you mentioned a couple games, college football. What league is it?
Sun Belt.
Oh, fucking Sun Belt.
You got Texas State at Troy and Sam
Texas
Houston.
State's pretty good. Troy's down. Troy's usually got some legit.
Did we lose JB? Is that mine or yours?
We might have lost JB.
We lost JB. He got cut talking about Troy. By the way, Troy's beat Texas State 10 straight games. So
really,
yeah, just put that out there. But yeah, these games aren't particularly good. I will say Sam Houston should fuck UTEP up. UTEP is bad.
I agree.
And Sam Houston
is always solid in that division. I mean,
we lost you for like 30 seconds.
We lost you. You back? You good?
Oh damn, yeah.
All right, we good.
Damn, I don't
I
know.
was saying, Coach.
Go ahead to go through those two games.
Yeah, I was just saying Texas State's lost 10 straight games to Troy, and they're big favorites here. I don't have much in that game. I do like Sam Houston a little bit. UTEP's one of the worst teams in the country. Sam Houston can really move the football. They run the ball well. They've got a good quarterback, decent defense. They've covered 4 or 5 this year. I like Sam Houston a little bit in this game.
You like Sam Houston? Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Texas State's played Arizona State. They've played, they're playing some they're scheduling
Texas State can't stop nobody. Bad defense.
Yeah, they can't stop nobody. I mean, but Troy is bad. I got to see them, and that's not the Troy team that I've seen over the years. I'm going to be honest. They seem very, very they seem down. Tomorrow,
Coach,
though,
I got $1 million question for you.
Okay.
Somebody asked earlier. Let's say an FCS team, right? Not FBS, FCS. Let's say a Davidson College comes to you and says, listen, coach, we got a football program here. We're going to pay you 6 figures. We want you to be our head football coach. What do you say?
FCS?
FCS, yes. Division. So like Division 1 AA.
No.
You're not coaching FCS?
Not 6 figures ain't enough.
Fair
That's
enough.
the problem. My internet's tripping or something. I'm so
So is
slow.
mine. I think it's StreamYard.
Yeah, I'm so stuck over here. Can you
Yeah,
hear
so
me?
am I. StreamYard's fucking up.
Everything's so slow. I've noticed it all day, but I didn't realize.
Yeah, I think it's StreamYard, bro. Yeah, we're losing JB, man. I might have to take it through for the next 40 minutes. Holy shit.
JB, you're muted.
No, it's StreamYard. I'm getting issue on mine as well.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Dude, I'm getting all kind of crazy shit over here. I'm getting an unresponsive thing from StreamYard. It says,
Oh, am I? Yeah.
You're not Melee?
I'm not getting anything.
And
Like,
you're
yeah,
running,
I had it.
you're running
I had
it,
it for
so
a
it
second.
should be fine, but it's not. I don't know why we're getting it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I had it for a couple of seconds, but now I'm good.
Yeah, I can't click anything. I freeze. So I'm not going to do anything, Bailey, on this end.
All right. Well,
Everybody says they hear us, so maybe it's an update. I don't know. Let's dive into some college games for Saturday, Jeff. I don't know if Bailey can find a schedule or something, but before we do that, though, you're Gonzaga. You're high on Gonzaga as a basketball program every year.
Yeah.
Mark Few's high on your list as far as a coach. He's high on mine too, but for Gonzaga. I'm curious to see if this is his reality when he turned down UCLA a couple years ago, when he turned down North Carolina, when he turned down Kentucky. He's going to get his feet wet in a bigger conference now. But the teams don't scare me. He's beat these teams his whole career. So I don't think it's the same as it once was.
Well, but then he'll stop having to hear about they don't play anybody from January on. Look, I thought they were going to join the Big East a year or two ago, and they didn't do it. They don't have a football program, which is interesting. So you're only getting the basketball. But Gonzaga basketball is a blue blood. They're a huge program. I have him as the best coach in the country. I've said that for the last 5 years or so. This is definitely a better conference. I'm excited about it. A lot of these teams are very solid programs as far as college basketball is concerned. San Diego State's turned into a basketball powerhouse. Boise's always really good. Utah State's been tough. And with, Washington State and some of the groups already, I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad the Pac-12's back.
Utah State's getting better, I guess. San Diego State been in the finals lately.
San Diego State is a proverbial California West Coast basketball power. They just are. I think you make the case outside of Arizona and Gonzaga, they're probably right there as the top basketball power. So,
yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting. I wish they had football, but they just don't. There's a lot of these schools that just don't have football.
but again, this won't be this year. One more year for the Gonzaga and the Little Sisters of the Poor. They're playing California School of the Blind and Nevada School of the Needy and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I want to dive into some coaches that are going to be fired, in my opinions, Jeff, before we dive into some college football for Saturday. Where are you at with these 4 right here? I know where you are with one, but
Well, I agree with all 3 bottom. Eberflus, I still think they like him. He had that obviously national show with Hard Knocks. People like him. I think it's still a little early with him. They'll give him another year, but the other 3 are gone. And listen, Sirianni, the Eagles have the best schedule from here on out. If he can't do anything with this schedule, he's out of here. And I think he already is.
it's fuck, man. Eberflus, I could see him being the only one that keeps the job, actually.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's the only one that stays.
Or they drafted Caleb to fire him. It's one of the 2 ways. And the GM also. GM will get fired as well.
Peterson's gone. I think – when's their bye week, the Jags? I could see that Their bye week's not anytime soon, but I could see them moving on from him around Thanksgiving. That's when their bye week is.
A very, very slippery slope for Robert Saleh, and I'm going to tell you why. They go into a crazy run of their schedule. They're 2-2. They've played really average football. They've lost a key rushing component in my kid, Jermaine Johnson. They haven't had Mosley, their captain, in my opinion, and anchors that defense. Their back row has been average when we thought they were really, really upper echelon. Their run defense has been garbage when we thought it was supposed to be one of the best. They go overseas, Jeff, to one of these shithole-ass fucking early morning games this weekend after losing to Denver, not 10-9. I'm not saying he's going to get fired after this game and left in London or some shit, but what I'm saying is the seat's going to get really, really hot if they lose overseas. And who do they got?
This week? Yeah, Jets, Viking, yep.
Who's hot as anybody in football, with the hottest quarterback in football, and Aaron Jones is running the ball, and they got the best receiver in football, and their defense is playing top 5 in football. It doesn't bode well right now for the Jets and Robert Saleh.
Let me ask you, a guy coming into the season that was, at times last year, if like what's his name up at Buffalo, Sean McDermott, if they fold and collapse,
he's done.
He's another one.
I said it. He's done.
And Mike Tomlin should be on this list if they don't play well. I mean,
let me ask you about a guy that no one talks about, who's a JUCO guy, a friend of mine, Zach Taylor.
Yeah, I was just going to bring him up. That's another guy.
We're going to give a lot of grief to a lot of guys, but let's be honest. What has he done since the Super Bowl?
Exactly. Well, they were 9-8 last year.
We're only as good as our players. Let's be honest. Coaches are as good as our players, and how the chemistry is in that locker room and how you lead those kids as a man. Zach's a great dude. I love him to death. I think he is a leader of men. I think he'd get I don't think the players have quit on him. What I think is, though, that they're going to eventually say, we don't pay nobody. We're the cheapest organization in an NFL. And you got to do what you got to do. You already went to a Super Bowl. You've tickled our nuts already. So get us all the way through this. And that's what they're going to do, because that organization is delusional in a lot of ways. So, in my opinion, he'll be on the hot seat too.
What about McVay?
No, because he's offered to retire twice, and they're kissing his ass. They know what he is. Listen, he's been to a couple. He's won, like, this guy.
Yeah, but Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl, and they fired him a year later. Sean McVay didn't go to the playoffs in 22, lost in the wild card last year, and they're 1-3 to start the season this year. And you're going to go get a new quarterback soon. Matthew Stafford is old.
Yeah, that's coming. But they're way too banged up.
Are you going to draft a new quarterback and let him have the reins of the new quarterback?
No, he would leave. I think after Stafford's done, he's done. And then he'll take a year or two off, and he'll come back in the league. He's still young. He was the youngest head coach in football.
I'll give you two other ones. Dable in the same division, Michael McCarthy.
I can see both of those guys being gone.
Now, McCarthy's been better than I think people think, but again, that's a high-profile job. We just talked about their goofy owner. But Sirianni's out of here. Salah's out of here. Peterson's out of here. Eberflus, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to get your take on a very controversial topic that I was pissed off about. Eric Widow was pissed off about. A lot of guys that played football in the old school were pissed off about. Derwin James being suspended last week against the Chiefs. They were up 10-0. It was a 10-10 game late. They had opportunities to win the game at home against the Chiefs' queendom. Derwin James came out and said, I ain't changing shit after he was suspended for hitting too hard. It's definitely not going to change nothing. Like I said, I'm just going to go lower. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm glad. I'm so glad. We have a few real ones left. Him, the safety over in Buffalo that I'm talking to. I'm going to get him on the show. There's a few guys that still want to play football as it was intended to be played. I don't know, Jeff. I'm so tired of the pussy league that we've created.
Yeah, and I think it's the unevenness of how we find people, right? I mean, we allow a player to be pushed out of bounds and thrown into the fucking water coolers and Darius Slay, and we don't find that guy. We also let a guy on the Saints concuss a guy, fine him $4,500, and then we find a guy who talks $45,000. Got it. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get any of this shit.
Hey, Bailey, I sent you an IG yesterday or a Twitter, I don't know, of quarterbacks that get hit now versus what they used to get hit. It was a lot of Tom Brady getting hit. If you could find it, if we could play it with no music.
There's a clip going around with Reggie Bush. They asked him about the hardest time he ever got hit, and it was the Sheldon Brown hit when he was playing.
Drew Brees set him up. Drew Brees set him up.
He got licked the fuck up, man.
That was like game 1 of his career, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was those kind of hits don't happen. He said if that had happened today, Sheldon Brown would have went to prison.
Probably. Where you at, man, with before we get into some picks, where are you at with the hurricane relief in our country as a whole?
Well,
FEMA's not present, Jeff. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think Democrats will say, well, we put out disaster reliefs in all the states. But yeah, I think it's a shame. I think a lot of people will use it as a political thing. Oh, well, we give all this money to Ukraine, and they're not wrong. I think that's where, if the Republicans do win, I think it's because of stuff like this. It's this not caring about America attitude, giving all the money to other countries when we've always given money to other countries, but we still took care of our own people. I think that's what's really concerning. Joe Biden, we don't know where he is. We don't know if he's looking at this stuff. And I think that's where, if the Republicans do win, it's for little things like this. It's a shame. It's a shame. We're giving a lot of money to people that are not citizens of this country. And as we always see in America, the little guy always gets screwed, right? I mean,
$7.50, Jeff couldn't buy fucking toilet paper for a family of 6.
Yeah, but it was the same thing in like the pandemic. I mean, $1,200's cool and all, but people are losing like months and months of income, so it's.
I mean, let me ask you something. So let me make sure I'm clear here. So illegals will get a debit card for $800 a month, and these guys get $750 for relief. Got it. That's
see, I love doing them videos. You ever see them videos? The guy does. He goes like, they're funny. Those got it. Those
videos. Really? Nah, I haven't seen it.
You never saw those? Get that guy up. The date right stuff. Can we get him on the show? You need to get him on the show.
What is it?
On TikTok, date right stuff. Can we? We got to get one of those videos up, Bailey. Date right stuff. Very funny.
I never heard of it. Bailey, I want you to show the way quarterbacks used to get hit and how they get hit. That's now big time. That's a flag. That was not a flag. That was not a flag. That was not a flag. That's not a flag. Not a flag. Not a flag. That's football. I don't remember. Not a flag. How many flags would those be now? Every one of them.
I watched this video the other day.
Every one of those are a flag now. I mean, look at that. Like, that's all flag. Unbelievable how sad we've become, man.
Oh, I've seen some rough fucking unnecessary roughness calls, late hit calls. Rough.
By the way, it took a lot more nuts to stand in there and take that and still deliver 7 Super Bowls. People don't really understand when you talk about Patrick Mahomes and him being close.
Oh, listen, that's what it takes to be the second best quarterback ever. But when Patrick does it, Patrick still takes major hits.
No, he's not. He fucking tippy toes out of bounds, Jeff. Stop. He's a fucking coward.
Okay, play this clip here. You'll like this.
Same people that are screaming at us to vote for Kamala because she's a woman can't define what a woman is.
Yeah, I seen that guy.
He always does like the so-and-so got it.
I see that guy. Yeah, he's funny. He's right on, though. He's been dead on some videos.
Yeah, he never misses, as they say.
Good job, Bailey, getting that, because I seen that guy. I now know who that guy is. Let's dive into some college football for Saturday real quick. There's a lot going on. It's a shitty slate because game day's at Cal Berkeley.
Well, you see the Fox? You see where Fox is this week?
Michigan State, Oregon?
No. Penn State, UCLA.
Oh, Saturday. Yeah. But tomorrow, I
Saturday.
believe tomorrow, there's a game I'm interested in, and it's UNLV Syracuse. Can we dive into that right out the gate? Because UNLV, they go 5-0 and beat a Syracuse team that's pretty decent. They got to be considered serious the rest of their schedule going forward to be undefeated. No.
Yeah, so I bet them to win the Mountain West 8-1. Really high on this team. That said, this is a game that, in the grand scheme of things, matters, but it's not a conference game. I think this is a great spot to back Syracuse. It's a gambling spot that I look for. A team that's overvalued off a big performance, played really well. There was a lot of emotion in that game last week, and now they're coming back quickly, and they're laying 7 points to what I think is a really good passing offense. Do you know who leads the country, coach, in passing yards per game? Kyle McCord. This team can really throw the football, and this is a UNLV team that's been a little bit of a bend but don't break pass defense. I think Kyle McCord kind of matches them score for score. I think this game, I had the number at 3. That's where I put the number. The fact that I'm getting 6.5, 7, I'm going to lean on Q's here. I think it's a big spot for them.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a good spot for Syracuse, surely.
Where's that game at?
It's in Vegas.
Oh, that's big. Barry Odom, man, is a program builder. He is a developer. He understands. They had 200 recruits and parents combined, though. Obviously, there's a limit on recruits on a game day, but they had a lot of big name kids. A lot of Polynesians came from Utah and Hawaii to their last game to see the new starting quarterback put up 59 on a good Fresno team who played Michigan pretty damn good.
One of the things I like to do is find defenses that haven't really been tested yet or have maybe been like mid, and now they're going to play a really good offense. Syracuse is a really good passing offense. They're going to throw. And again, I'm selling high on UNLV, and I'm buying low on a Syracuse team that lost recently to Stanford at home. This is a team that in the market's not going to be backed. Again, I put a number on every game. So before the lines come out, I say, okay, I have this number at 3.5. I'm getting 6.5 value here. I felt that way with Syracuse, but a good coacher. Odom's a good coach. We're right on that.
And at the same time, luckily I have a lot of TVs. At the same time, Oregon, Michigan State. This is a very interesting one because Jonathan Smith is known to have great success versus Oregon, contrary to belief, while he was at Oregon State, a West Coast guy. Michigan State's 3-2. They've played their losses. They started off 3-0. They lost to a Boston College team, and then they had to play juggernaut Ohio State, which seemed to finally get going. Is Oregon in trouble here, at least covering?
You keep in mind, Oregon lost to Oregon State on Black Friday 2 years ago. John Smith beat them. I think they are in danger of probably not covering. They haven't really won these types of games and won them big. They did beat Oregon State 49-14 a couple of weeks ago. But remember, Oregon has Ohio State on deck. That's pretty big. And Michigan State is a team who they're decent. I thought they played pretty well this season. Now, a lot of people will point to last week, but that's a Ohio State team that's crushing everybody. 24 is a lot. I'd have put it probably about at that number, so I don't see a bunch of value here. But Oregon, historically, this season has not covered these numbers. Maybe they have one high on Ohio State next week. That's a big game. I didn't really see much in this one.
Yeah, interesting. Friday night's game seemed like Willie Fritz, a good friend of mine, rebuilding Houston. They got TCU.
You can't back them right now. They have the worst offense in the country. Nobody's worse.
And that's how he is. When he takes over programs, he guts them. And I know what he does. He's one of the all-time winningest coaches in college
So,
football.
again, what we need to find is we can't back them. You just said they're not going to play well. They have no talent, right? So you got to fade them the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Now, TCU is not a good defensive team, so I think if you're going to move the ball, Houston, this would be the one to do it in. But remember, though, with Oregon, first game of the season, they struggled with Idaho, an FCS team. They struggled with Boise. You know, we know that Ginty played well in that game. You know, didn't beat up UCLA. UCLA only lost by 21, and this is a significantly better Michigan State team than UCLA.
Yeah. UCLA, speaking of them, they're going to get destroyed. Deshaun Foster may not make it through the season if the powers that be that throwing in some money into this program are just fed up. Like you've given, like I had a coach from HBCU, Coach Fred, who comes on Wednesdays. He said you gave him the keys to the Lamborghini. You let him hire everybody you wanted to hire. You got to give that horrific fucking speech. Everything that you've done. He may not make it if they say, you know what, man, this is a product that we just can't live with. If they go get beat by 50 to Penn State, and the rest of their schedules, Jeff, I don't see where they win a game. Do you?
There's one place you don't want to be as a college football team, and that's 100th or worse in scoring offense and scoring defense. I think a lot of people, from what I've heard out there, are wondering if they can win another game. You know, you're going to start hearing big names. You're going to start hearing Nick Saban. You're going to start hearing Pete Carroll. You know, would any of these guys actually go out there and coach? I agree, though. This is a bad team. I could see him maybe competing against like a Minnesota maybe or a Fresno, but yeah, it's bad. And you got to throw in the fact, and this is where I have a trouble with college football betting right now. One of the things that I've bet on over the last 2-3 years is Penn State betting on overs against non-conference opponents. So not teams in the Big Ten. Up until this year, this would be a non-conference game. Penn State generally puts 40 plus up in these kind of games. I think Penn State could hit the total themselves in this game. The total is, I believe, 46.5. I could see this game 41-7, 45-10, 48-3. I like the over. I like Penn State in these games. James Franklin runs it up. It's a home game. Yeah. Give me the over.
I got an interesting text yesterday from a former UCLA coach who's now coaching NFL, good friend of mine. And he told me that the only way he would go back and then get me there with him is if Gruden became the head coach of UCLA. Now, I would go to UCLA and coach with Gruden. Of
course you would.
I would go coach with Gruden at UCLA and my good friend, because I know the room. I know Gruden.
Now, what would your job be there, you think?
I'd coach Q's for Gruden and recruit.
Oh, that would be so great. Could you hire me as like your assistant?
Yeah, I'd hire you.
I would carry your. I would be like the
give back.
I would use. Yeah, I would.
Would you be the guy at the Eagles, the guy that they fired and moved away?
Hey, Dominic? Yeah, I'd be that guy. Yeah. I'd be little Jeff, but it'd be perfect. Bloodhound Jeff.
Gruden and I on the same fucking staff. Holy fuck.
Talk about a DEI hire. That's a good point, D. Jones.
Yeah, that would be fucking big time act right there. All right, a big game though. There's two that stick out to me, Jeff.
Hire him to DoorDash for JB. There you go.
Yeah, and Westwood too.
I'll DoorDash the program. I'll be the official DoorDash.
A lot of fucking Otanis on UCLA's campus, Jeff. One of the largest campuses in the world. Let me ask you, one of the most beautiful campuses. Oh my goodness. Eddie Manyweather gave Jeff and I a very insightful.
During the riot.
Yeah, during the Hamas riot. Let me ask you something. Louisville lost to Notre Dame, and they're coming off a tough one, and they got to go play a team that's kind of looking like a fucking offensive juggernaut right now in SMU. Can Louisville bounce back? Knowing Braum, they will, but SMU is pretty fucking good, better than people think. Where you at?
I don't think they're going to. I think SMU is a better team. I'm glad they went with Kevin Jennings. He's a better quarterback than Preston Stone. Louisville hasn't looked great on defense. I think SMU's better on both sides of the ball. SMU's getting a full touchdown in this game. You can grab 7 here. I like Braum. I think this could end up being a higher scoring game, but in a higher scoring game, I'll take the team getting 7 points and a full touchdown here. I like SMU, fun team, good offense, and they've beaten big teams before.
Yeah. Interesting.
You're kind of a sleeper to me in the ACC.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my guy, Braum. He bounces back after losses, man, and does a great job. He's going to get his guys ready. I think Louisville shows up here. Missouri A&M. A&M's won 4 in a row. 80-degree kickoff game in the morning. A&M minus 2.5, over under 48.5. Missouri's 4-0, looks good. I don't think they look as good as they ended the season last year, but they have one of the best receivers in football that I believe translates to the NFL as good as T-Mac does. I think that he's really good, man. Where you at with this game?
Do me a favor. Look at Vaughn's comment in the chat. Hey, Vaughn, I love people like you. I've proved people like you wrong my whole life. I've never done anything, but for some reason, I've made money doing all this, Vaughn. I'm not Italian, but I talk about the mafia, and I'm the best at it. I don't know shit about football, but I make more money than you betting it. I've proved people like you wrong my whole life, and I'm going to keep doing it, Vaughn. After I get off the show, guess what? I'm going to do what I want to do. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to go back to work and ask your boss when you can take a fucking piss. Shut the fuck up and listen to what I have to say, because that's what you're going to keep doing, Vaughn. Mizzou, okay?
I don't like the trolls. See, if he didn't say the same message twice, I'd leave him in. But when you say the same shit, you're a troll. I got to block you. All right, go ahead.
Damn. Now you guys got to talk to nobody. Yeah, I think Mizzou's a bit of a paper tiger. I agree with you with Luther Burden. I think he's really good. But at what point have you been impressed by Mizzou? I just talked about defenses that have not played anybody. And you look at the one defense, look at the one offense they played that was decent. Vanderbilt played really well against them. They give up a lot of big plays. I don't know if A&M can beat them, though. That's kind of my issue. I don't know.
Hey,
how
shout out.
A&M is.
Sorry to interrupt you. Shout out to Miami legend, coach Lamar Thomas is in the house, two-time national champ. Lamar, we got to get you on the show soon. Shout out to watching from Twitter. Come on in. We got to get you on the show next week sometime, talk about some real football, because we're both old school. I'm watching Mina Kimes right now. G Wizzle says she looks fine. She looks like hammered shit. If she's your fucking definition of fine, then you're fucking no pussy getting motherfucker. I'm just going to throw that out there, G Wizzle. She looks like fucking hammered shit. And I bet you if you took the makeup off that motherfucker, she looks like holy fuck. Sardines smashed. That's what she would look like. I don't listen to a lot of women talk football. I'm sorry, dog. I just don't. I can't do it. I'm no offense to the women out there. I just can't fucking listen to women talk about football.
I posted about this recently, how like
listening to Keith Smith in the chat here, Jeff. I mean, I'm being honest. It's the same thing. Mina, Keith. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I love the women on Twitter in the sports betting world that all they do is say they're not about being judged on their bodies, yet every day post about their bodies.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, like, listen, Taylor Mathis, I like her. She's a nice girl, but like, she's constantly telling me, I don't want to be taken seriously. I want to be taken seriously, but I'm going to keep posting tit videos every day. Like, I don't know. Like, don't do it anymore then. Like, you got to butter your bread, bro. The tits are where they want. No one cares about your pics, lady. Just show us your tits. That's the truth. That's what Aaron Dolan. No one cares about your parlays. You're hot. That's why we watch you. That's why you got the job. If I was a woman, I'd be a fucking billionaire. I'm not, though. So I'm here with
the realest show, man. I know Taylor. But
it's true. I know her too, but it's a fucking fact. He's on that fucking show because she's hot.
I can't defend.
Sorry,
can't defend it. You're 1,000% right, and I'm never gonna lie.
I mean, let me be honest. Let me ask you something. Let's say you're going to sell your house, right? And two people come to sell it. It's this old white guy with glasses and a fire ass Mexican chick with a pencil skirt on, looking good. Who are you going to pick? Come on, man.
I only let girls sell my house.
Like, let's stop with the bullshit. Like, no one cares about women's opinions on sports. They just don't, or sports in general.
Mina Kimes is not fine, G Wizzle. She's fucking atrocious. Have you seen her in person? She's this thin, no body. Her fucking face is shitty. Like, what are you talking about? Are you fucking that fucking desperate? G Wizzle?
She's a woman. Some guys will fuck a catcher's mitt. So.
Comey. And then she's talking cover two. You're probably drawing up what she's talking about, right? Oh, fuck. Mina Kimes said I can go beat cover two versus with two double posts. I'm going to run a bang 8 skinny and then I'm gonna run him at the opposite safety, and then I'm gonna run the other fucking bang. I'm gonna run a touchdown post at the high safety, and I'm writing this down. You believe me in the times, huh? You fucking idiot.
Well, also ask yourself why all the hosts, they all look like, I'm just going to say it. I mean, like Molly and all these different hosts, there's a reason they look like they do. I mean,
give me an ugly fucking butch up there and just get up there and she grabs Dan Orlovsky like, motherfucker, you punch this motherfucker like this. And this is how you supposed now, okay, I might listen to that.
Well, let me ask you though, do you ever care about what Taylor Rooks actually says? I don't.
No, she attacked me after last chance.
But do you care what she says? No, you're just looking at like we just want to see what you look like.
Does anyone look at Kerry Champion, who I've known a long time?
No.
And look at anything other than her fucking baby oil legs?
No. We just want to see what you look like. That's it.
Unfortunately,
now I'm gonna leave one name out of this because I'd like to name her, but I'm not, because I have respect for other people on this show. Can I say it or no?
No, but she's actually she's at least a real.
I don't agree. I disagree, but we'll stay away from that.
Yeah, good. Let me dive into something though. There's two other games I want to get your take on. Is this going to be the end of Mac Brown if North Carolina goes and gets mollywopped by 4-0 Pittsburgh?
But you have to wonder how he survived the last 2 weeks. So he gives up 70 to James Madison. Keep in mind, they had 52 at the half. He then is up 20 and loses to his arch rival in Duke. By the way, Duke is undefeated and eligible for a bowl with a win. Impressive. Manny Diaz, shout out Manny Diaz. I don't know how he survived last week, to be fair. I think it's getting close. He said he was going to retire after the JMU game. He should have.
And Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I mean, and he played Pittsburgh.
Is he not in the mix for Coach of the Year?
Vaughn's back, by the way.
Him, Manny Diaz. There's some Coach of the Year. Deion Sanders will be involved if he's continuing to win. I said if Deion gets to 7-8 wins, he should be in the consideration of Coach of the Year.
Yeah, we'll see if he does. I mean, again, schedule's very tough the rest of the season, but
can Rule, if Rule wins out, let's just say, is he Coach of the Year? Like, how about Illinois?
Rule's so good. He's such a great coach. I'm a big Rule guy. I like Rule.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there. Pittsburgh, do they stay undefeated?
Well, they're off a bye. That's another tough spot for Carolina. They got to come right back and play again. Pitt's off a bye. Eli Holston looks like a really good freshman quarterback for them. They're not great defensively. That could be a high-scoring game. Do they stay undefeated? Yeah, I think they'll win this game. I had this number more at like 5. It's only 3. Pitt's a team that people are going to start talking about again. They got a couple of very winnable games coming up. Then they got to play SMU and Clemson and Louisville. So they're going to have 3 or 4 losses by the end of the season, I think.
Now, this is an interesting one. Virginia's 3-1, and they're -1 versus 4-1 Boston College. I think both teams are better than we thought they would be at this stage. Boston College put it on Michigan State. Virginia is better than we think. Is this game that close?
There's nobody that's bet more of Virginia than me. And I really like this team on both sides of the football, particularly on offense. The problem is they turn the ball over a lot, and they make stupid, dumb mistakes. I like Calandria, the quarterback. These teams are two kind of irritating teams. BC gives up a lot of big plays. I think the number's about right to me. It's a flip game. I lean Virginia just because I like this team, but I like the over. That's my play. I think both teams score.
All right, Nebraska-Rutgers.
Yeah, I love Nebraska here. Very high on them. I think Rutgers should have lost last week. The reason that Rutgers won last week was the fact that Washington just kept beating themselves. I mean, penalty after bad penalty, missed field goals. They're just a dumb, poorly coached team, Washington. Nebraska is really tough on defense. They're at home. And this is a different Nebraska team. We saw, JB, they needed to beat Colorado. They beat Colorado. They didn't fuck around and play with their food like they used to do under Scott Frost. That's coaching. Rule, I think they have a football team here. And this sets up, if Nebraska wins, we start talking about them as a group that can compete in the Big Ten. They got Indiana on deck after a bye after this week. Indiana looks good too.
Yeah, 5-0. They go 6-0. Signetti, probably coach of the year candidate as well, obviously.
He is great as well.
No Indiana head coach has started 5-0. So this is the first one to start 5-0. I think they beat Northwestern. They go 6-0. And they're going to be talking about Indiana running the table there until they can play the big dogs.
Indiana's tough, man. They run the ball well. They're a good defense. They got a good quarterback. They score touchdowns in the red zone. That's one thing you got to look at, guys, when you're betting. And some of the teams that are good at that, Navy, Army, Indiana, they score points. They don't leave any doubt. When you play bad teams, you got to leave no doubt. Score touchdowns.
Yeah, no doubt. A game that it's going to be very interesting, and I want to get your take. I think Ole Miss is in a slippery slope here, bouncing back against a South Carolina team that I believe is better than people think. And this is a game that Ole Miss either comes out and scores 50 to answer the critics, or they get beat. It's not going to be one way or the other. I think it's either they show up or they get beat. I mean, obviously that's an obvious take, but what I mean is I don't see this game being a close one down the stretch. It's either going to be Ole Miss blowout or South Carolina beats them handily. I'm just telling you, this is a letdown game for Ole Miss.
Well, I think we're going to learn a lot about both these teams defensively because Ole Miss has played nobody. Their defenses look really good. Kentucky or SC played one good offense in LSU and gave up 36 points. I don't know. I think, to me, I don't think it's a letdown game because Ole Miss lost. I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean, though? Like the critics are like, "Oh shit, Ole Miss lost. You better come out."
I think you're going to learn a lot about Ole Miss and Jackson Dart. I mean, I think to me, look, I had him to win the Heisman. I still have him to win the Heisman. That ain't going to happen now. They have a big game on deck against LSU next week. But that game won't mean shit next week if you don't win this game. They're 10-point favorites for a reason. I think they bounce back. But, I was surprised last week in Lane's offense because, Coach, you saw it. They went down and scored within the first 3 minutes. And you're thinking, all right, another 50 spot here. But this ain't Middle Tennessee or Georgia Southern or Furman. This is a decent football team that's got a good defense. And they shut them down the rest of the game. I think they have, to me, the best receiver in the country, Ole Miss. I'll take him over Luther Burden any day, the kid Trey Harris. But they got to bounce back here.
Yeah. For my Sun Belt folks out here, I just got to throw this out there. James Madison, did they stay undefeated versus a UL Monroe team that battle-tested, played Texas?
Yeah, but it's a UL Monroe team that has only played Texas and got beat 51-3. Here's what UL Monroe is going to do. They're the best. They run more than virtually any team in America. They're going to run, try to keep the ball out of JMU's hands. Look, if you want to step in front of JMU right now, be my guest. This group has scored 133 over the last 2 weeks. I bet them last week against Ball State, 63-7. Easy winner, as they say. UL Monroe stinks. UL Monroe can't move the ball. If they go down 14-0, it's game, set, match here. And again, they played one good team and lost by 48. So,
yeah. Let's talk real quick. Michigan-Washington. Does Washington have a shot?
Do they have a shot? Yeah, they're a favorite in this game, but do they win? No, and I'm going to tell you, I can't back them. Will Rogers doesn't look real comfortable in that offense. Michigan, at the end of the day, is a great defensive team. And look, they have too many penalties. They average 10 penalties a game, Washington. I just can't bet teams like that. They constantly shoot themselves in the foot. I like the under. I think this game is 1 to 17 wins. Neither quarterback's particularly good. Both teams want to lean on the run. They're both good defenses, and they don't score touchdowns. Give me the under.
Whew, that's going to be an interesting game right there. SC Minnesota, they just played Wisconsin, was in a dogfight down 10. They come out and pull away. They got to go to Minneapolis. SC does. Any struggles for SC there?
Yeah, because I think Minnesota is better than Michigan on defense. Minnesota's got, I believe, the best pass defense in America. I think they're giving up like 97 yards a game. They're just unbelievable at that level. And I think they have a better quarterback than Michigan does. They ended up at the end of the day losing last week, but it was a nice fight. Miller Moss, I think, is going to be on his backside a little bit in this game. This is a tough game. It's getting colder up in Minnesota. I like that quarterback they have there. Kid from New Hampshire, Max Brosmer. I grabbed the points with Minnesota. I think they're a tough team.
Baylor, they got any shot against Iowa State, undefeated Iowa State?
Baylor's another team. Find ways to lose. Still wondering how they lost to Colorado. Iowa State's another elite defense. Matt Campbell's a good coach. We don't give him enough credit. He's winning with quarterbacks that he probably shouldn't win with. And, the kid Rocco Beck's playing well for them. They're not a team I'm looking to bet into. Just a really good defense. They play slow, kind of grinded out football. And look, they're actually scoring points this year, which that's kind of a thing. In Iowa, they don't score points, it seems like, a lot of the time. That was kind of near where you used to coach. Didn't you used to coach against those types of teams, Iowa Western? And didn't they fuck you up one season?
Iowa Western did, yep. Game 1 on Netflix.
70-21, right?
I think so. Thanks a lot, bitch.
Watch that episode.
Hey, Arkansas, Tennessee. Interesting game to me. Tennessee minus 13, over under 58.5. Where you at with that one?
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee really haven't been tested yet. Won every game by double digits. I guess maybe they were tested last week, I guess you could say. They're coming off a bye, though, which is nice. Arkansas seemingly been able to kind of, batter it out against every team. They've played pretty well. They're a better defense than I thought they were. I like their quarterback, Taylon Green. Something tells me this becomes pretty high scoring. Might remind you a little bit of the Oklahoma State game. I think Tennessee's not as good as they showed defensively. Something tells me this is like a 41-31 type of game.
The last one we'll talk about, we already talked Miami Cal. KU, Arizona State. I don't have a lot of interest.
KU's broken.
Yeah, KU's broken. Arizona State, Kenny Dillingham, good friend of mine. Could be another Coach of the Year candidate. They're sitting at 3-1, but they're 0-1 in the Big 12. But I got to ask you about Texas Tech, Arizona. Both 4-1, 3-1, respectively, in Tucson. Arizona minus 6. Heavy, 64.5 over under in this one. 2 shootout possibilities at quarterback. I think the Texas Tech quarterback's thrown for 1,514 touchdowns already. We already know about the Arizona QB and the T-Mac connection. This could be a shootout. Where you at?
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, but I'm going to give you a hot take. You want to hear it?
Sure.
John Mateer will be the top transfer quarterback next year. John Mateer is a mini Johnny Manziel. If you haven't seen John Mateer play, you need to go watch him play. This kid for Washington State is a fucking really good. I mean, he is an elite dual threat quarterback. He's putting big numbers up out there. I think he's going to go to a big program next year as a junior and ball the fuck out. We know Noah Fafita. They're going to throw the football. Yeah, this has all the makings of a first to 50 wins late night, kind of old school, Pac-12 after dark, that sort of thing. I like John Mateer. I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah, man, it's been a great show. Let's end it with some hell yeah, hell nah. Real quick.
Let's get your opinion to Austin's comment, please, before we do that. Austin.
Who's Austin?
Coach JB is a tubby loudmouth. He doesn't know nothing. Just the angry uncle on the couch. It's not Coach JB. It's Couch JB. What'd he know about cover two? I'll listen to Mina Kimes.
Where's he at? Let me see.
Austin Oceanbroom. You white motherfucker.
Let's break them down. Let's break them down. Oh, of course it's a fake person.
Hey, you're going to talk to us about football.
He doesn't have a real fucking picture.
What a great name, Couch JB. Oh, great.
Yeah.
What have you done with your life, Austin? Drop the link for Austin. Get him on the show.
Drop your resume, and then let's compare bank accounts. And then let's take what we used to play in the hood was called Big Bank, Take Little Bank. So whoever has the most money in the account takes the other's account.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Why do they always have fake profile pics? You ever notice that?
I don't know. Hell yeah, hell no. Sponsored by First Round Performance. Let's dive into some hell yeah, hell no, Jeff. Hell yeah, hell no. Baker Mayfield and the Bucks will win by 10 points or more tonight versus the Falcons?
Hell no. No, I don't think they even win. So I'm going to go hell no. And I think even if they do win, it's a close game. I think that's what this game is showing you. There's a reason the number is 1.5, 2 in this game. It'll come down to the wire. It's a divisional matchup. If I could see a 3, I'd maybe take the Bucks, but it's going to be a close.
Hell no. 10 points too much for that. I don't see it.
But it is Thursday night. You never really know.
It's Thursday night. That's why I lean towards the fucking 13-10 game over a fucking blowout. But that's just me. And 10 points, to be honest, in the NFL nowadays, and this fucking watered down product is a blowout. So I don't see it. Hell yeah, hell no. Ole Miss will not make the college football playoff. Hell yeah, hell no. Ole Miss will make the college playoff.
I'm going to go with, sadly, hell no. I think they may lose next week. I'm going to go no. I just think they're kind of a paper tiger. I mean, they just didn't have much there from a scheduling standpoint. They kind of got shook against a pretty average Kentucky team. I'm going to go hell no.
Let me ask you this. Hell yeah, hell no. Lane Kiffin is already planning on being the Florida head coach.
I could see it. I mean, he's been in Florida before, FAU. I don't really know, like, why would you do that? Why not just stay at Ole Miss? But I guess money talks.
He loves Florida. He kept his house in Boca for a reason, let me tell you.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Hell yeah, hell nah. Philadelphia Eagles will make the playoffs.
Hell yeah. And listen, I think it's going to be tough. They have a lot of problems. I just think we need to grade them, hopefully, on what the offense can be. But they've got issues on defense, man. The schedule's bad, though. I mean, they have the worst schedule in the NFL. It's not a great division, but I guess Washington's better than we think. With the offense, I think they're still a good offense. But, yeah, I'll be called a homer.
I want to break the Eagles down tomorrow with you or next week with you because I'm going to be honest. You get a guy like Barkley.
Yeah.
And you don't have Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown. And you throw the football the first 7 of 9 snaps.
Well, that's the issue.
Zero sense. And that is what Moore is. This guy is a guy that's overrated as an OC. I've been telling you guys for a long time. I'm not a huge what's his name?
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore fan. I'm just telling you, I'm not. I think they missed the playoffs, to be honest.
I mean, again, I'll just kind of point out they have the 2 games they've won are against quality opponents.
Let me ask you, since the Super Bowl, have the Eagles gotten better anywhere?
That's a great point.
No, not one player. Not one player has gotten better. I think Jalen Hurts has digressed tremendously, like I said he would. And he looks like a figment of himself from the Super Bowl year. And you cannot blame NFL coordinators for leaving and taking other jobs in the Shane Steichen instance and then continue to use the narrative it's because of Shane Steichen. This is the NFL, man. These guys get paid a lot of fucking money. Jalen Hurts, get over the whole Shane Steichen left you thing. This is you got to stand up and ball out, homie. This is your fucking money you made. You got it.
Yeah, I've been very critical of them, and I think you're not wrong. I think they're going to make some major changes on the bye week. They are on a bye this week. They got to get healthy. They got to get all their players on offense back. They need to make some changes in the secondary.
Run the football. Run the ball.
That's another thing. Right.
Hell yeah, hell no. Mike Norvell will be the head coach of Florida State at the start of next season.
Hell no.
Really? Mike Norvell is going to be out of there?
How can you? I mean, where are they going to win a game the rest of the year? That means
is he fireable worthy though after going undefeated just a year ago?
Yeah, but we could just chalk that up to they had a great quarterback. I mean, look at what he is without a quarterback. He stinks. Where are they going to win a game the rest of the year? I guess Charleston Southern. They should win that game.
Yeah, I think the buyout's too much. I don't know.
I don't worry about buyouts. There's a lot of people with a bunch of money in Florida.
Yeah,
you ever see some of the homes down there?
Yeah, but Jimbo sustained because of the buyout for an extra 2 years, and they finally had enough of that. But hell yeah, hell no. Russell Wilson will take over as QB1 of the Steelers.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. Justin Fields is an average quarterback. He's won 10 games in his career. 3 have come this year. He doesn't win much.
By the way, he's outperforming Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes stat-wise right now.
Yeah, but this is still a bad offense that's had trouble moving the football. You got a couple of tough games coming up on paper. We'll see. I mean, their bye's coming up too, end of October.
Yeah. Hell yeah, hell no. You all right now will hit the like button. Fucking pound the like right now. Everybody, 1, 2, 3. Bam. Pound it. We're out of here. Jeff, good show. Appreciate you filling in. We'll see you. You're going to be helping me fill in for a few different days next week as well. I'll see you tomorrow in your slot. What time? 7:30. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see how tonight's game goes. We'll talk about it. And then we'll break down a little bit more of college football. And hopefully we're not at war by then. And we don't have nothing else to talk about. So pound that like, subscribe, become a member, follow Jeff on the Sit Down Crime Pod over on TikTok and on YouTube. And shout out to all the dick riders. You're my biggest fans. We love you all. And we'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Peace.
Issues get pressed so fast, you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown, kill the yeah, it's a rap.